Welcome to another deadline stream. And yes, yesterday we did go live. We did a live Q&A and reaction stream. And here we are with the deadline stream and more news, more press conferences. And I've made my transfer now. It's all confirmed. There's no going back really, unless I want to take a hit. But do I? Probably not. Thank you very much to everyone who has been tuning in. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here. And try to get your questions in as well. And yeah, let's actually just get straight into it. So, welcome Lipok. Thank you for joining in. Bruno possibly out this game week. Salah effective ownership, again 120 plus. Yeah, and even with Jimenez, for example, not really a captaincy shout. But yeah, you know, we've got quite a bit of news coming around there. Bruno, I still would suspect he will play. I don't trust Oli. He always kind of tries to pull this off with the kind of mind games and, you know, saying, oh, this player might not play, like Pogba, and then he ends up playing. So let's wait and see. Looking at captains, I brought in Vardy and Havertz. I'm considering both of them. Salah is the safe pick. I was also looking at Cancelo. What do you think? It's on Havertz. I would still go for Salah, but, you know, if you want to go for a punt, I think Havertz and Vardy are good options. Even, you know, a Chelsea defender, for example, or Cancelo. But yeah, I'd probably just go with Salah, personally. Took a -12 this week for Havertz and Vardy as I had very limited options in my team. Hopefully it'll pay off. It won't pay off this week, but maybe in the long term it will. But try to avoid, you know, taking these big hits most of the time. Hi Dylan, start 3 and bench 1. Gray, Gallagher, Sarr and say Maximan. I'd probably bench Sarr, to be honest, out of those 4. Yeah, if not say Maximan. Trent and Antonio or Rafinha and Vardy, no hit. I would rather have Rafinha and Vardy, to be honest, but I like the other 2 as well. Yeah, I agree with Mustafa. Hwang or Mbuma this game week? I'd actually go for Hwang, but then again, it is a bit of a risky one. Havertz captain confirmed. Thoughts? He's a good choice, but once again, you know, he hasn't proved himself too much this season. Of course, last season he had a few double-digit returns, including against Crystal Palace when he played up front. But I'm still a bit hesitant about him, but the fixture, of course, is there for him. Always Vardy, guys, not Havertz. Yeah, I agree, rock and roll. Saka to Havertz this game week for a -4, or wait until next game week and do Saka to Son or Antonio to Kane? Oof. I'd say wait next week and do Saka to Son. I think Son is a far superior asset than Havertz. Bench Diaz, Mbeumo or Hwang, probably Mbeumo, to be honest. Forson Aubameyang, he's got a good home record this season, but I probably wouldn't go for him. I just think Vardy, for just a little bit more, offers way better value. Welcome Eternal, thank you for joining in. Would you captain Kane or Salah? I'd probably still captain Salah, but Kane and Son obviously are nice choices, and I talked about them in my preview as well. Gallagher or Townsend? I think that's a tough one. I probably would rather have Townsend, and for this game week, I wouldn't bench either of them, if I'm being completely honest. Thank you, The Flying Dutchman. Good day to you as well. Best Lukaku replacement, Vardy or Kane? I think if you can get Son in the midfield, I'd just go for Vardy up front. Otherwise, that's a bit of a tricky one because long-term Kane has better fixtures, but then again, only one good performance this season in the Premier League. Hello, Havertz or Vardy? For me, Vardy, if you can get him. And in terms of captaincy, probably the same thing, potentially. Hi Dylan, hope you're doing okay. What's the matter with Jimenez? Do I bench him for White? It looks like he started training today. So he's been suffering a bit with fatigue, based on what I was reading. And that means there is a chance that Bruno Lage doesn't select him in the starting lineup. He should be in the squad. He did travel, but he might not start. So take that with a pinch of salt. And obviously, it's kind of 50-50 with what happens there. Do you think Jimenez won't start? Or do you think he... Oh, yeah, I think he might not start. He will be in the squad, but will he start or not? I'm not too sure, to be honest. If it is true, and I think it is, that he hasn't, you know, trained for the whole week and he's only started today, it's very unlikely that he will start. But you never know, to be honest. He's so important to Wolves. Yeah, exactly, The Fan Dutchman. Anyone who spams the chat with the same question over and over, you know, they'll be timed out. Thoughts on some changes for the next 3 game weeks? Jimenez to Hwang, Grealish to Havertz, Duffy to Trent, and Lukaku to Vardy. Rate my transfers. Lukaku to Vardy, exceptional. I'm a bit biased there because I did make that same transfer. Duffy to Trent, I actually did that on my wild card. Grealish to Havertz is a good move. There's also Foden, but of course Havertz is a good move. Jimenez to Hwang. I still prefer Jimenez, but it enables you to make those other transfers. So overall, I think that's a good set of transfers, to be honest. Havertz in for Gray or Gallagher? I wouldn't get rid of either of them this week, and long term I'd probably rather have Gray just a little bit more, but then again though, Gallagher is a good option too. I wouldn't get rid of any of them this week though. Hi Dylan, did a -4 for Kane and will captain for the punt, had done early transfer and Mbeumo, let's hope for goals in West Ham versus Tottenham. I think that is very likely, to be honest, and yeah, I think Kane is a good captaincy punt on paper anyway. Hi Dylan, Greenwood to Havertz, Benrahma to Havertz. Probably Greenwood to Havertz. I still believe Benrahma's slightly better, but Greenwood obviously very talented player. For this week, how good would it be to replace Grealish with Foden or Grealish with Havertz? For this week specifically, Havertz is probably a bit more likely to score based on the opposition, but to be honest, I would rather have Foden, if I'm being completely honest with you. 3 bench spots. Who out of Trent, Tony, Mbumo, Saka, Armstrong, Livramento? I would bench Saka, I nearly said Sacramento. Saka, Armstrong, and probably Mbumo. I would bench those 3. Bench, say, Maximan or Livramento. That's a tough one. Let me actually just look at the fixtures again, but I'm pretty sure... I probably would bench Livramento, but I don't know. It's a tough one. Livramento might be a bit safer in terms of he's more likely to return, but say Maximan, he is a good player, and Palace aren't the greatest defensively, so that's a tough one. Let's see. How's Chelsea's press conference? Well, based on what Tuchel said from there, Werner and Lukaku should miss the next 2 games, which includes the midweek Carabao Cup tie against Southampton, I believe. And also he was basically saying he hopes Lukaku's back in Game Week 10 against Newcastle, but it sounds a bit too hopeful, and maybe he's going to miss that as well. So honestly, I'd just get rid of Lukaku at this point. Who to bench, Gallagher or Rafinha? I wouldn't bench either of them, to be honest. Start both and maybe bench a defender or someone else. Gallagher, Allen or Sarr, who to bench? Bench Allen. I'd start the other 2 for sure, especially Gallagher. No one in my mini league owns Foden. That's differential enough without needing to captain him. Well, his ownership is around 5-6%, so he is a differential. I wouldn't really look too much into the kind of leagues because a lot of people might not have a certain player in your league, but they can still be highly owned. But I think Foden is a good choice. Would you take a hit to replace Ronaldo with either Kane or Vardy? If I could help it, I'd try to avoid it and then make the transfer next week, but I think it is worth it in the long term. I'm so done with Grealish. Who should I start, Elyounoussi or Grealish? I'd start Grealish. I wouldn't bench him for Elyounoussi. So Kobe says, Ola, play Gallagher or Mbumo? I'd play Gallagher for sure. I have 2 free transfers. Who would you recommend to transfer in? I have Harvey Barnes, Adama, Shaw, Ronaldo, Sarr, Sanchez. Says Hassan. Yeah, I'd want to get rid of most of them if I'm being completely honest. I think if you don't have him already, I'd get Rafinha in for Harvey Barnes potentially. You can also maybe do Ronaldo to Vardy, and then over time, Luke Shaw is someone you don't want to have. You can go to a Chelsea or City defender, and Adama Traore you also don't want to have, to be fair. You can get Mbumo. Sanchez is still fine though. He's not too bad. I think the rest though, you probably should sell. Chilwell or Christensen? I would rather have Chilwell probably. That's a tough one. Thank you so much for the super chat, Ali. Really appreciate it. Amazing picture, by the way, of Messi kissing the Copa America. I'm on a wildcard for goalkeepers, Ramsdale, Raya, Sanchez. Which one do you prefer? Well, I literally just wildcarded in Game Week 8 and I went with Ramsdale, and I'll still maintain that. But I think if you're not too sure about Arsenal defence, and to be fair, I don't blame you, I'd probably just go for Raya. The reason why I prefer both of them over Sanchez is because of the save and bonus points. Sanchez doesn't really accumulate too many of those, but the other 2, meanwhile, they do, especially if Arsenal and Brentford keep clean sheets. So I would go for one of them. And looking at the fixtures, you could maybe say Raya's the better pick, but I'll probably still say Ramsdale. One of those 2 for sure, though. Ronaldo to Vardy, then Havertz to Benrahma for a -4. Yeah, I think that's a good set of transfers, to be honest. I'm guessing you mean you're getting Havertz in for Benrahma, but I think that makes sense. Will Alonso start tomorrow? It's a 50-50 call because Chilwell came off early in the Champions League, so I'm not too sure about that. Would you consider Havertz for Saka? Personally, no. That doesn't mean Havertz is a bad transfer or that he's not a good option. The reason why is because I want Son ultimately in my midfield, so that's why I probably won't go for that. Buy Havertz with -12, not for me, Rami, not for me. -12 points is too much to make this Game Week 9 my team decent. Yeah, just think of it logically. I think if you take a -12 hit, it could pay off in the long term, but if you can help, make that team, with maybe a -4 hit or just using free transfers over a period of 3 or 4 game weeks, you'd rather do that than basically just take a -12, which puts you severely behind, and it can be the difference between certain ranks. So I'd be very hesitant about that. Do you think Azpilicueta will start right wing back? I think he could, to be honest. But if not, he will slot in at centre back, maybe even benched, who knows. And that means Reece James will start. I think because Werner and Lukaku are out, Hudson-Odoi could play as a right winger. So that frees up the space for James. But if not, it could be Azpilicueta playing there. Jesus, Alonso, can they start? I think Jesus, yes. I talked about this in my preview. Alonso's a 50-50, and early in the week in my preview, I stated that Alonso, in my opinion, will start. But I don't know, just looking at predicted lineups and also just looking at Chilwell coming off early, I'm not too sure, to be honest. Chilwell to start next match, it could be on the cards, to be honest, Aslam. Aubameyang or Son, who to select? Definitely Son, no doubt about it. Son's a better asset. Should I play Smith Rowe, Trent or Livramento? I'd rather play Trent and then Livramento, honestly. Is -8 too bad of a hit? Look, you can take hits occasionally, even a -8, but I just try to prevent that from being, the case in most weeks. It can be too much. I would rather just stick to a -4 or none, but a -8 can still pay off. When it gets to -12 and above, that's when it's just too much, to be honest. Rudiger for Alonso? I'd rather have Rudiger, to be honest, so yeah. Smash the like button and subscribe, guys. Dylan creates a lot of great football-related content. Thank you very much, Chu. Really appreciate all the shout-outs you always do and all the good questions and comments. Livramento or Mbeumo as a sub? That's a tough one. I think Mbeumo might have the highest ceiling, but Livramento is more likely to give you 6 points. So I'd probably say Livramento. That's playing it a bit safe, though. Get Havertz and captain him. I'm not going to do that. I've already made my transfer. Lukaku out for Vardy. I'm not taking a hit for Havertz. And honestly, if I can get Son, he's just a far better player and asset than Havertz, so not for me. Smith Rowe or Gray? Definitely Gray. Hi Dylan, Kevin De Bruyne captain or Cancelo? If I had both, I would probably captain De Bruyne, but Cancelo's also a good pick. Cancelo might get rested, potentially. Start Livramento over Armstrong, definitely. Why benching Saka? Because I don't trust him that much anyway. I just had him for the next few game weeks, and he probably will start, or at least be in the squad against Aston Villa, but I don't know. I think Arsenal will struggle against Aston Villa, if I'm being completely honest. And I look at my attack, not even just my attack, my whole team. Who do I bench for Saka? I'm not benching Tony. Definitely not Salah or Vardy. And my defence, I'm not benching any of them. Even Trent, maybe he could be the one to make way. One of my City defenders, but nah, not for me. I don't see a space in the starting 11 for Saka this week, to be honest. I think Chua will not start. Fair enough. I mean, this is the thing. It's a 50-50 call. It could be either way. It could be actually Alonso starting in the Carabao Cup and Chilwell playing here. He did come off early after all, so just bear that in mind. Need a 5.5 million midfielder. Who do you reckon? Well, Mbeumo's now 5.6, isn't he? I would definitely recommend him. At 5.5 specifically, there's not really anyone that catches my eye. It's just that kind of price bracket where they started off at the season. So Gallagher, Townsend, Gray. Those sorts of players. The actual options right now at 5.5 and below, not really too impressed by them. I want to swap Jota for Mbeumo. Any thoughts on that? I think it makes sense, and you can always make it next week if you want to prevent a hit. Captain Ronaldo, I wouldn't do that, honestly. Just my opinion, though. Do I start Sarr or Livramento? I would start Livramento, actually, but Sarr could do alright against Everton. They're not a good defence. Like Livramento this game week, I was lucky to get him off my bench last week, so not sure if I want to risk benching him. Yeah, I agree. I don't want to bench him too much either, but I'm not going to bench any of my actual starting 11 for him. My team is Ramsdale, Foster, Aspie, Rudiger, Cancelo, White, Livramento, Salah, Rafinha, Saka, Grealish, Douglas Luiz, Antonio Vardy, Jimenez with one free transfer. Who should I start? In terms of a transfer to make, I probably would be looking at Grealish to Foden or to Havertz. Other than that, I mean, yeah, Saka's another one. You could get Mbeumo in. But you can always wait to next week, to be honest, and then make 2 free transfers potentially. In terms of who to start, I would just bench probably Saka, Douglas Luiz, and potentially Ben White. Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, definitely. I have Walker. Should I hold or sell? I'd rather have Diaz or Cancelo, to be honest. So if you can get to them, I just go for them. Alba for a 3-week punt and captain for Watford at home in Game Week 12 before getting Kane. I just get Kane in directly, to be honest, because Arsenal's so inconsistent offensively. Obviously, he can be a good punt, but I just get Kane straight away. And he can also outscore Aubameyang in that time period. Curtis Jones update. Nothing that I believe. Obviously, if anyone does know, let me know in the live chat. Alonso as captain. This is the thing. Obviously, I was a bit bullish about him and Chilwell, but just the fact that you don't know if he's going to start or not, that kind of puts me off, so I probably won't do that. Thank you very much to John for becoming a Differential channel member. Really appreciate it, mate. And obviously, I remember you coming in the last few live chats. You're new to FPL and you're doing really well this season, so thank you very much for becoming a member. Really appreciate you didn't have to. And all the very best of luck for Game Week 9 and the rest of the season. Havertz for Greenwood -4. Yeah, I think it's still... Look, I don't like hits too much, but I think that's a good hit. What do you think is the better option? Foden and Kane or Vardy and Son? Vardy and Son, Jaja. Or Haha. Yeah, the Mexican laugh, as they say. Jesus or Vardy over Lukaku? Definitely Vardy for me. Thank you, Aiden. Havertz or Son for a -4? Definitely Son. I know, obviously, everyone's kind of very, let's say, very excited about Havertz, and obviously, you know, I don't blame you, to be honest, but I would still rather go for Son. I think he's just a better option long term. Who would you start off? Saka, Trent, and Mbumo? Definitely Trent for me, HM. Cancelo captain is a good choice. I probably wouldn't go there myself, but he is a good choice. I took Bernardo Silva last week as a punt and it paid off, but I now need to transfer out Lukaku. Should I keep Silva or do a -4 for Havertz? You can just keep Silva, to be honest. He's not someone I like too much as an FPL asset. Quality player in real life, though. But I probably wouldn't take a -4 for that. Jones trained with the team today. Might get some minutes. Thank you very much, Lipok, for the update. Really appreciate it. Of course, you are a Liverpool fan. So thank you very much. Just a random question. Prediction score for United Liverpool? Great question. Very good question. I think 2-1 Liverpool. Maybe there's going to be more goals than that. Maybe it's going to be even tighter. Maybe United can sneak a win. I think United are big underdogs in this game and they still have a chance, especially with Ronaldo, but I think Liverpool have too much quality for them. Thanks, Dylan, for the content. Joined late, but glad you're on and happy not to now be a member. Actually, I just started, if you're on about the stream, I actually just started around 5 PM, to be honest, so I haven't been going on for too long. The deadline is at 6:30 after all. Very much appreciate, like I said before, you becoming a channel member and just in general watching the content and engaging with the discussion. So thank you very much, and yeah, obviously good to have you on board as well, mate. Cody or Malpai? Good question. I would start Cody this week out of the two. Captain Salah or Foden or Kane? I'd captain Salah personally. Livramento or Tierney to start? Yeah, I'd start Livramento over Tierney. Sounds a bit weird, but I'd probably do that. Time to bench Jimenez and play Armstrong? I would play Jimenez over Armstrong still, because Armstrong could be benched too. Start Creswell, Matip or Jimenez? Ooh, good question. Very good question. I'd probably start Jimenez still, but just bear in mind he could be benched. Start Semedo or White? I would probably start White over the two, but I'm very 50-50 on that. Chilwell or James, or go with Azpilicueta? Azpilicueta for me for sure. Foster or Sanchez? I would start Foster this week. Who do I transfer out? Benrahma, Saka or Sarr? I would probably transfer out Sarr. Oh, that's a tough one. Probably Sarr first. Start Livramento or Jimenez? I'd probably go with Livramento, just because of the Jimenez news. Otherwise, I'd definitely start Jimenez. Foden or Rafinha captaincy punt? Probably Foden, and I talked about him in my preview. What are your thoughts on starting Mbeumo over Trent? I don't blame you. I think that's a good choice potentially. I would still go for Trent, but I think that is something to consider for sure. Force on Broja. Let's wait and see if he can, you know, at least get some more starts, be consistent in that department. He is 5 million after all. He could be a great enabler, but I want to see a bit more consistency in terms of starts first before going with him. Should I replace Ronaldo with Kane? I think so. If not, there is always Jamie Vardy. Tony or Antonio for Lukaku? I'd probably go for Tony because of the fixtures and also his price and the amount of money that gives you in the midfield. For example, you can get Heung-min Son. Force on Reece James captain? I wouldn't go there because he might not even start. It could be Azpilicueta as the right wing back. Start Mbeumo, Hwang or Smith Rowe? I would start Hwang. Tony or Vardy? I would go with Vardy. But then again, you know, Tony is more cost effective, and with the Vardy money you can get Son in midfield. So it is a bit of a difficult one. I'd love to have both, and that's why I have both. But I don't know, I just would prefer Vardy, I think. I don't know, maybe that's the wrong answer. In terms of value for money, it's definitely Tony, just to kind of, you know, give you that opinion there. Is it true Bruno ain't starting versus Liverpool? That wasn't said, it's just that he is a doubt for the game. But Ollie, once again, like I talked about at the beginning of the stream, Ollie tends to do this where he says, oh, this player's a doubt, he's got a niggle or something, or, you know, he's got an injury doubt. And then he ends up playing like Pogba over the years and stuff like that. So let's wait and see first. I still think Bruno will start, personally. I could be wrong. But even before Ollie talked about this, I think there were kind of rumours spreading around that on Thursday or Wednesday in Carrington, Bruno actually picked up an injury and he didn't partake in full team training. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens there. Salah or Havertz or Vardy for captain? I'd probably say Salah still, but Havertz and Vardy are good options too. Let's see. Danny Ings captain? I wouldn't go there personally, but I think he can do well against Arsenal. Force on Havertz this week. He's a good option. I talked about him yesterday in the stream, in the preview, and also today. I think he is a good option. I wouldn't take a hit though to get him. Force on Chilwell captain? I think if he starts, he could be in for gold. Same with Alonso, but that's the problem. Is he going to start? I don't know. Maybe he will. Keep Ronaldo and Saka or replace with Havertz and Vardy with a -4. You could just make one transfer, but I can see why you want to make those changes now, and I think the hit is worth it, to be honest. Next week, going from Lukaku and Alonso to Trent and Firmino. I think Firmino's a bit reactionary, if I'm being completely honest. A lot of people now are thinking of Firmino because of his hat-trick against Watford, but still, most of his goals come away from home. Pretty much, I think, over the last 10 goals he's scored, pretty much all of them have come away from home. He doesn't score at Anfield, and he's not a consistent goal scorer, so I just bear that in mind. Start Jota or Livramento? I would start Livramento, honestly. Mount to Havertz for a -4? I wouldn't do that. I think Mount can do well as well. Keep Grealish or have Havertz for a -4. I would rather have Havertz for the next 3 game weeks, but I wouldn't take a -4 for that. Hey Dylan, how are you lad? Just joined your stream. Very good, Sudindra. Thank you for joining in, mate. Start Smith Rowe, Livramento or Jimenez? I would probably start Livramento. Who to start, Cucurella, Smith Rowe or Broca? I would probably start Broca. Maybe I'm just that he's going to haul, says Nicholas. Yeah. What do you think about putting in Laporte, Walker, Chalobah and James? I just think that's too punty, to be honest. The reason why I say that is because in City defence, you have Cancelo and Diaz who are better assets than Laporte and Walker. They get more bonus points, they start more games. Maybe not necessarily compared to Walker, but I still think they're better choices. Chalobah is not going to play most of the games. He can play against Norwich, I think that is a possibility, but you'd rather have even Christensen, Rudiger and Azpilicueta, and same goes for Reece James, who can come on for a 1-pointer. You'd probably rather have Chilwell, to be honest. So yeah, play Sarr or Livramento, says Abil. I'd go for Livramento. Jimenez or Smith Rowe? I would probably go for Smith Rowe because of the Jimenez doubts, but otherwise it's definitely Jimenez, no doubt about it. Havertz or Antonio for this week? What's this for to start? I'm not too sure, but either way, probably I would rather have Havertz for this week if I had to pick one, but Antonio's the better pick overall. Should I captain Vardy after taking a hit for him? Oh my god. Jesus, voice cracks. I can see why. When you take a hit for someone, you probably want to take you want to put the captaincy on him to kind of make it pay off. I still would go with Salah, but I think he's a good option. Starting Mbeumo or Smith Rowe? I would go for Smith Rowe in this case, but Mbeumo's a good option too. Start Jimenez, Odegaard, Harvey Barnes. I would start probably Harvey Barnes out of the 3. But then again, normally I just say Jimenez, to be honest. Keep Gray or get Havertz for a -4. Keep Gray. Tony for Ronaldo and De Bruyne for Jota. Why is no one talking about De Bruyne? I mean, De Bruyne is a good option. I've talked about him in the last few videos, if you've checked them out, but I still think Son, Vardy, etc. just offer better value. But De Bruyne is a good option, of course. Is Reece James worth keeping in the squad? I think if you have him, it's a bit of an awkward time to get rid of him because he's playing Norwich, but he might not start. So I think ultimately I'd rather have Azpilicueta or Rudiger. Is this your final team? It is my final team. Havertz, Townsend or Foden? Long term, probably Foden, but Townsend and Havertz are good options too. How do you feel about Lacazette's celebration last week? I think it was a bit over the top, but then again, I think from a personal perspective, from Lacazette's point of view, he's not getting minutes, and that was kind of a statement to the manager because whenever Lacazette does play, he's actually scoring goals and playing very well. I think in his last 9 starts or 10 starts, he's got 7 goals, so he's actually been doing well. So yeah, I think Lacazette, he is a passionate player, but I never celebrated, I'll be honest. Yeah. Vardy, Havertz, Son, Brownhill or Kane, Foden, Havertz, Rafinha. I'd go for the second bunch of players, Felix. Benrahma, Lukaku to Vardy and Vardy for a -4. Havertz and Vardy. Yeah, I think it's worth it. Holmoy is worth a -4 for Havertz. I think for the next 3 game weeks as a whole, it could be worth it, but I probably still would be a bit hesitant. I would rather have Foden or Son long term. Gallagher against Newcastle or Antonio? I wouldn't bench either of them, to be honest. I'm just being honest with you there. If I had to pick, I would start Antonio, but Gallagher against Newcastle, you don't want to have on your bench. Start Trent or Mbeumo? I'd start Trent, legacy. Son for captain, he's a good choice. I probably wouldn't go for him myself, but he is, probably amongst the top 5 captains this week. Same with Kane. Zaha captain, I probably wouldn't go there. But then again, it is a good fixture. Hey Dylan, any news I should be aware of? Jimenez, it looks like he only started training today, so he is a doubt to start, and it's going to be a late decision by Bruno Laga. And as for Bruno Fernandes, he is a doubt for the game against Liverpool, but then again, it could be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer playing mind games. Havertz captain or Salah? I'd go for Salah, but if you're looking for a differential, I think this could be the week to go different with your captain, so up to you what you do with that. Mount captain? I probably wouldn't, but he could be a good option to have in your squad. What do you think about Tony? Great option long term. And I think he's the best around his price, to be honest, unless Brocha continues to start and he can maybe put a spanner in the works. Top 3 captains, I talked about this in my preview. Whoever starts between Chilwell and Alonso, I think is the best captaincy shout, but that's just too risky. Salah, and then I'd probably say either Vardy or Kane. I think that would be my top 3 or 4. Would you captain Vardy, Salah or Havertz? Probably Salah, but I am tempted by Vardy as well. Arsenal back in hot waters if they lose or draw again this week. They already are, to be honest. Arsenal are 12th, and it's not good enough. And, you know, finishing 8th back-to-back, yeah, I think Arteta should be under pressure, to be honest. And obviously, I wanted him to win Manager of the Month. I want him to do well in general, but yeah, I think the pressure should be on regardless. Should I start Benrahma? I probably would if I had him, but then again, it depends who you have to bench for that to happen. Should I sell Son, Lukaku to Vardy, Rafinha, or Havertz, Wang? Yeah, Vardy and Rafinha for sure, definitely. Start Livramento or start Livramento for me, Kevin. Gallagher or Townsend? I wouldn't bench either of them this week, and I probably prefer Townsend a little bit more, especially with Calvert-Lewin potentially being out for another month. Hello Dylan, please rate my squad. Ramsdale, Aspilicueta, Laporte, Cancelo, Livramento, Salah, Havertz, Gray, Foden, Antonio, Vardy. Really good squad. Laporte I'm not too sure about. I would rather have someone else, but I'm guessing, you know, budget restrictions and all of that. But still a really strong squad. I think he'd be the only concern, I think. Start Livramento and Mbumo. I would start Livramento. Start White, Douglas Luiz or Jimenez. I would probably start out of those 3, probably Jimenez, but he could be benched and he could give you a 1-pointer. Would you bench Tielemans or Smith Rowe or Gray or Saint-Maximin? I'd bench Smith Rowe. KDB to Son, I wouldn't make that move this week, but I would rather have Son in the long term. But I think over the next 3, keep De Bruyne or next 2, and then when the fixtures turn, get Son. Start Marçal or Ben White. I'd probably start White in that case. Start Cody or White, probably White. Saka to Havertz for a -4. It's a good move on paper. I wouldn't do it myself in my team because I'm looking to get Son. But I think if you're not looking to get Son, it's a good hit. Start Livramento or Grealish. I think Grealish may come on for a 1-pointer. If that's the case, then just go for Livramento. But I think Grealish could do alright this week. Captain Salah or Kane. Salah for me. Start Wang, Livramento and Mbumo. I would start probably Livramento. Livramento or Smith Rowe. Livramento. Sarr or Hwang to start. I would start Hwang. Start Saiss or Traore against Leeds or Allen against Watford. I'd start Saiss probably. But that's a bit of a risky pick. Hwang or Mbumo, which one to bench? Love the show and good luck. Thank you, John. I would go for Hwang. I know a lot of people tend to say, oh, just go for Mbumo over him. And to be fair, I can see the point. But I'd probably go for Hwang. I have Christensen with 0.7 million in the bank. Should I -4 for James or Chilwell? I wouldn't take a -4 getting rid of Christensen because he could start and whoever you bring in from Chilwell or James doesn't start. So I think just hold your horses in my opinion. And if you want to make that transfer next week, I'd probably go for Chilwell because he gets substituted on fewer times and gives you fewer 1-pointers as a result. For the next 3 game weeks, Chilwell or Reece James, probably Chilwell and just in general. Foster, Diaz, Gallagher, Livramento. Is this worth a bench boost? No, not in my opinion. Obviously, it's a good bench, but I wouldn't bench boost that. You can wait for a double game week. Start Sanchez or Foster. I would go for Foster. Captain Havertz is a good option, but I would rather go for Salah. Will Jimenez start? I don't think he will based on the information we've gotten today, but he still could. So don't hold me to that. It's obviously down to your opinion. I personally think he could be benched again. So who knows? Captain Kane, I think that's a good option, but I'm probably going to go for Salah. Jota to Havertz for a -4, worth it. Start Benrahma or Livramento. I would probably start Benrahma for the attacking upside, and I think Spurs have a weak defence, and I think the hit is worth it. Havertz or Jota? Havertz at the moment, but long term, not too sure about him. Rafinha, Mbumo, Tony, Chilwell, Rudiger, Diaz. Which one to bench? I would bench Mbumo probably. Hi Dylan, just a good shout out for the good content in UCL and FPL. Thanks. Thank you very much, Duran. Really appreciate it, and good to see you on here once again, mate. As an Arsenal fan, what do you think? Who do you think is a better FPL asset, White or Tomiyasu? For the time being, I'd say Ben White because he is more likely to get bonus points. He's shown it so far, so he can get 7 points, whereas Tomiyasu hasn't really gotten those bonus points yet. But in terms of, oh my god, voice crack. In terms of attacking potential, I think Tomiyasu offers a little bit more. Don't you think Chilwell will be benched for Alonso? I think he could, but Since making the preview, I have changed my mind a little bit about that. 160 people online, but only 40 likes. Hit the like button, guys. Thank you very much to Lipuk, and of course, that's a good point you make. And thank you very much to everyone who is here. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and then more of you can then bring in your questions and comments. So would really appreciate it. And you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Dylan_RCM. It's the same as my YouTube, and very much appreciate everyone who has tuned in today. And now let's get back to the team. And once again, I've made one free transfer, and that is Lukaku out for Jamie Vardy. And I could have gotten Harry Kane. In the end, I didn't do so. Thanks, dude. This was my first comment on any FPL channel related to James or Chua. Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, Akram, for the question, and good luck. Hopefully the decision pays off. Start Marcel or Jimenez? It's a tough one. I'd probably say Jimenez, but he could come on for a one-pointer. Should I start Azpilicueta or Mbumo? Definitely Azpilicueta, no doubt about it. Obviously, it's up to you what you do, but I would do that. Son, Vardy or Salah captain? I'd go for Salah, but I like the other two. Vardy and Havertz or Tony and KDB? I would probably go for Vardy and Havertz, but the other two is also very tempting. Bench one, Benrahma or Livramento? I'd bench Livramento, I guess. Salah or Havertz captain? Salah. Cancelo will be benched this week? I don't think so. I think Zinchenko will come in during the Carabao Cup, but I could be wrong. You know, Pep is very, very difficult to predict. Who has more chance to play, Chilwell or Alonso? Chilwell, because the last few games he's been starting, and based on what we've seen this season, Alonso started 7-8 games in a row, and Chilwell is now starting 3-4 games in a row, so I think he's more likely to start. Havertz and Vardy or KDB and Tony? Yeah, I answered this question already, and I went with Havertz and Vardy. Mbumo for Douglas Luiz -4. You could just wait for next week and then, you know, make the transfer. Lacazette as a punt? Not for me. He doesn't even start at the moment, and he might not start against Villa. Captain Son or Vardy? That's a tough one. I'd probably go for Vardy, but I like Son too. Are you bringing in Havertz? No, I'm not. Jimenez to Tony for a -4. Have Vardy and Antonio. I wouldn't take a hit for that. I just keep Jimenez for now, and then maybe make that move ahead of game week 10. I can see why you're doing it though. Start Mbumo or Diaz? I'd start Diaz. Are you bringing in Havertz? No, mate, I'm not. Start two from Livramento, Foden, Mbumo, Hwang, Tony. I would start Foden and Tony. Taking a short break to eat, be back in a bit. Yeah, I need to eat as well, but I'll leave that for after the stream. Thank you very much to Flying Dutchman. Marcel or Sarr? I'd start Sarr. Should I take Lukaku to Tony and Grealish to Son next week? I think that looks really good. I'd go for that. Will Jimenez start? I don't think he will. Based on the information we've gotten today, I could be wrong. Will Saka start? Not too sure. I think he's going to be in the squad. He was in training though the other day. But yeah, if he's fully fit, then he's going to start. No doubt about it. Start Mbumo or Saka? Probably Mbumo. Vardy, Rudiger, Mbumo, take hits. I wouldn't take hits really, especially for Mbumo. You can just make that transfer next week. But for Vardy, I just get him in for now. Choose two to start: Mbumo, Hwang, Trent. I would start Trent and Hwang. Saka for Livramento. I would start Livramento over him. Bench Sarr for Tierney. I would bench Tierney actually. Start Marcel or Sarr this week. I would start Sarr. Do you think Foden will start? I think he will. I could be wrong. Keep Foden or get Son for a hit. Keep Foden and then get Son in ahead of game week 12. There's no rush. Looking at next week, would you keep Jimenez? I would rather have other strikers anyway, but for a hit, I wouldn't be too keen on that. Taking a hit to get rid of him. Do you think McCarthy from Southampton is a good pick? He's a good pick, but I think Ramsdale, Raya, and Sanchez are better. Thank you, Faye. Is it worth taking a hit for the Norwich defender to Reece James? No, because Reece James might not even start, so not for me. Saka for Livramento, I answered this already, mate. Apart from Salah and Vardy, who else are good captaincy options? Son and Kane, I think. Also, I think Foden, De Bruyne, and Cancelo. I think they're all good options. And obviously Kai Havertz. Havertz for Grealish, that's a good move. If not Phil Foden, I think it's a good move. Would you captain Jimenez? Definitely not, especially with the news we just got. And Jimenez doesn't tend to get a high score. Maybe 7, 8, 9 points. Is it wise to sell Lukaku? A lot of money sitting on the bench, but I have a feeling he'll be back game week 10 or 11. Well, based on Tuchel's comments, he seemed very hopeful and very optimistic, overly optimistic for him being back for game week 10. And even then, it might be a struggle. He could be on the bench against Newcastle, but obviously that's not what you want. It's obviously down to you. If you have a gut feeling he's going to be back for game week 10 and you're willing to bench him, then go for it. But otherwise, I'm just not too sure. And he hasn't really shown this season, signs of, him really being worth keeping. Dian says, great stream, Dylan. Thank you very much. Dian, really appreciate it. Do you think Laporte will start? I think he will, but he's just not someone I like too much as an FPL asset. And he did burn me, to be fair, in UCL Fantasy. Top work as always reading these comments, Dylan. Thank you, Harry. Very much appreciated. Captain Salah or Mahrez? I'd go for Salah. I've got no idea what to do. Tony for Ronaldo and De Bruyne for Jota, or Vardy for Ronaldo and Mbeumo for Jota. Both look really good, if I'm being completely honest. I'd probably go for Vardy and Mbeumo though, but I think Tony and De Bruyne is actually really good as well. So they're very, very tough. I can understand why you're struggling with that. I think this is the right time to jump in for KDB, potentially. At least for the next 2 game weeks. After that, I'm not too sure. James for captain, not for me, Gareth. Do you think Armstrong will start? I'm not too sure if he will. So I think Hasenhuttl, I think he'll go with a similar team to the last game week. What's the news on Jimenez? He only started training today, I believe, so he hasn't trained all week. So Bruno Lage is going to make a last-minute decision to start the Mexican. Grealish or Foden? Foden for me. Tony or Saint-Maximin? Tony. Saka or Sarr to Havertz? Probably Sarr, and then you can do Saka to, let's say, Mbeumo. Hi mate, hope you're well. Hoping for redemption tonight. We need the points. For me, it's not really redemption anyway. Villa did the double over Arsenal last year, but I just don't really care. Arsenal don't do anything in the league regardless. I want to get the win, of course. I want to win every game, but yeah, I don't really consider it redemption. Hopefully Arsenal do win though, but I just don't see it, if I'm being honest. Bench 1 between Gray and Jimenez. I'd bench Jimenez, but if he starts, he could do well. Hey bro, will Jimenez play or should I keep him in the subs? I think he could be in the bench. He might not start. That's what I'm thinking. Thoughts on bringing Aubameyang in? Not for me. I would rather just get Kane or Vardy in directly. Sanchez, White, Diaz, Rudiger, Salah, Gray, Rafinha, Mbeumo, Antonio, Ronaldo, Vardy. What do you think of my team? I like the team a lot. Yeah, so if you have Foster, you could start him over Sanchez. That's one thing to do. The team is fine though. It's well poised for the next few weeks. And maybe Ronaldo is someone you could move on to Tony, and that will give you enough money in your midfield to do, let's say, Gray, for example, to Heung-min Son. I think that could be really good for you. So that's what I would probably do with your team, Sadindra. Livramento or Tierney? I'd go for Livramento. Beggins. Thinking of Lord of the Rings there and Hobbit. Should I start Laporte and Walker both and bench Hwang, or start Hwang and any of the 2 Man City defenders? I would start both of them, to be honest, yeah. Even if it is at the expense of Hwang. Will Reece James start? I think it's a possibility of Azpilicueta playing right wing back, and as the centre backs it could be Rudiger or Chalobah, Christensen and Thiago Silva. So I think there is a chance he doesn't. Ronaldo and Traore to Aubameyang and Havertz for a -4, or Ronaldo to Kane? I would do Ronaldo to Kane, to be honest, yeah. Start Mbeumo or Elyounoussi? I would start Mbeumo. Should I captain Havertz? If you want a differential and you have a good feeling about him, then go for it, but I personally won't be going there. Bradley says, my team: Ramsdale, Foster, Trent, Diaz, Azpilicueta, Livramento, Duffy, Salah, Rafinha, Silva, Mbeumo, Douglas Luiz, Lukaku, Antonio, Saint-Maximin have 0.8 million in the bank. I think Saint-Maximin to Tony is a pretty shrewd move. Also Lukaku, you can move him on to Jamie Vardy, or if not to Tony directly, and then you can, once again, like I said to Sahindra, you can get Son in the midfield. So that's what I would do in your situation. The rest is very fine, especially your defence. I like your defence a lot, to be honest. Will Alonso play? I'm not sure, to be honest. I was a bit more sure in the preview. Still not 100%. No, I just don't know. Richarlison or Ings? I would rather have Ings, and for Everton, Calvert-Lewin when he's back, or Townsend or Gray. Ramsdale to Raya next week. I wouldn't make a goalkeeper transfer, to be honest, but maybe that is something to think about. First sub, MacArthur or Marçal? Marçal. As in, we were poor after 20 on Monday. We was impressed with the first 10 or 15. Then we sat back completely and had to scrape a draw. If we don't win today, then I think it should spark a change. Yeah, but to be honest, I just don't see things changing, because apart from the Spurs game where Arsenal played very well, exceptionally well for the first half, there's not really any examples of Arsenal maintaining a really high level performance for a long period of time. And even then, under Arteta, when have Arsenal actually had 2 really good halves of football? It just doesn't happen. Arsenal either have a really good first half and a poor second half, or vice versa. So honestly, not too optimistic. Should I get rid of Paul Pogba? I think so, rock and roll. We don't want to time out anyone in the chat, so please don't spam or use caps. Exactly, Lipok. Exactly. Want to get through all the questions, but obviously if you spam the chat, especially when the question's been answered, it gets in the way of other people who are still waiting for their questions to be answered, and then they might do the same thing, so it just doesn't really help anyone. Bro, will Alonso start because I've kept him in the subs and confused whether to put him in the subs or main 11? I would put him in the main 11, but ultimately I'd get rid of Alonso, whether it's this week or next week. Just bear in mind, if you get rid of him this week, it could backfire because he could get 15 points or something against Norwich if he starts. But ultimately, Azpilicueta, Rudiger, maybe even Christensen and Chilwell at the moment, all better options from Chelsea. Thanks for your help, Dylan. Really appreciate it. Come on, guys, hit the like button. Dylan is a great FPL content creator. Thank you very much, Sadindra, for the shout out and also for all the questions and comments. Bench Armstrong, Semedo, or Jimenez. I'd bench Armstrong. Salah will blank. Please don't captain him. Well, I appreciate your concern for my teammate. Maybe he will, to be fair. And I have considered going with Jamie Vardy, to be fair. So let's wait and see. It is a really good opportunity to be different and, you know, get away from the pack. But if Salah does really well and your captain blanks, you could be in the mud. Hey bro, is Havertz worth a captaincy punt? I think he is worth it, and he actually made it into my top 5 captaincy picks in my preview. Opinion on Azpilicueta captaincy? I reckon he can get a few attacking returns if he plays as a more attacking right wing back. That's a good point, and Chelsea actually get a lot of their goals and assists from their wing back, so that's a really good point. And I think Azpilicueta captaincy could be really good, you know, minimum 6 points you'd think, and could be on for 10 points or more. Start Sarr, Jimenez. I would start Sarr. Based on the news about Jimenez. Otherwise, it would be Jimenez this week. Saka starting? I think so. That's assuming he is fit, and we don't know that just yet. He was in training though. Son in for Decore -4 hit. I think it's worth it, to be honest. I don't like hits, but Son's a big upgrade. Play Adama or Livramento? I'd play Livramento. Son or Kane to get in early? I would rather go for Son because you can also get Vardy up front, so I'd rather go for that. Adol says, you know, Salah's the best in the world right now. I don't agree, but yeah, in terms of form, yes, but not overall. When your best captain this week is the captain in versus Man United away. Yeah, he is one of the best players in the world anyway, and on current form he is, so I agree with what you're saying there. Havertz in for Foden or Townsend for a -4. I wouldn't get rid of either of them, so obviously I know Havertz is a really attractive pick at the moment, but I wouldn't go for... You know, I wouldn't get rid of either of them this week. Should I play Jimenez? It depends on who else you have and who you'd bench for him. I would probably play him, but if you have Livramento or a really good option on the bench, like Mbeumo potentially, then maybe just bench Jimenez. I have Vardy and Antonio. Who is the best option to replace Lukaku? Tony, I think, and then use that money to upgrade your midfield. Yeah, I'm not particularly optimistic either. We don't have a great record versus Villa and haven't been good this season. It won't happen, but if we don't win today, I have no hope for anything this season. I already don't have any hope, to be honest. Obviously, the Spurs game gave a bit, but since then we haven't won a game, which is not a surprise, to be honest, looking back. Play Ronaldo this week or transfer him out for Tony versus Leicester for future plans in midfield. Kind of scared of the current Ronaldo's ownership. I wouldn't be too concerned, but obviously he can do well against Liverpool. I would probably get Tony in now, and if not, just wait next week and ultimately upgrade your midfield, which is what you're planning to do. Alonso is -200 on FPL statistics, so need to get rid of him ASAP after the deadline. I don't like making early transfers because, once again, you know, a lot can happen between now and the next deadline. So I'd probably try hold off, even if you have to eat a price rise or fall or two. Bench Livramento or Cancelo? I'd still start Cancelo. I think he will start. I could be wrong though. Hi mate, would you play Gallagher and Mbeumo? I'd play a Gallagher, Brian. Gallagher. Ronaldo, Smith Rowe or Tony? Sony or Tony? Havertz for a -4. Ronaldo, Kane. Jeez, that's a lot of situations there. I would do Tony and Son. Yeah, I'd do that. Hi Dylan, can you do a quick poll on who people are going to captain like Havertz or Salah? That's a good idea. That's a good question. Okay, so let's see who. I'll do it on this chat. It might get in the way a bit of, you know, what you see on screen, so hopefully it's not too obtrusive or intrusive, should I say. So who are you going to captain in game week 9? Let's put the options. Wait, no, what do you mean yes or no? No, not yes or no. I'm going to put Salah. Let's go with City asset. So let's go with City asset. Could be like Cancelo, De Bruyne, Foden I'm thinking of. Let's say Havertz. He's kind of in his own, I'd say, sphere at the moment. Son or Kane. And who else? Give me some other... Oh yeah, Vardy, of course. How can we forget? The man I just brought in. Oh wait, does it not give me... I can't add another option. Oh Jesus. We're in a bit of trouble here. Yeah, oh, you know what? I'll put Vardy... Does that make sense? Should I put Vardy in the same bracket as Son and Kane? It doesn't really make sense, does it? But I'll do that. I don't have... I can't add another one, unfortunately, another option. So Let's do that here. So who are you going to captain in Game Week 9? Salah, City asset, Havertz, or Vardy, Son, or Kane? So here we go. Not the greatest poll in the world, but good idea by the Galactic Hobbit. Wait, does the actual thing appear? Hopefully it does. Yeah, let me know if the thing appeared, but at the moment it looks like it kind of... Oh, there we go. It has appeared. Yeah, no need to ask that. Right, I'm going to minimize that. All right, so Rudiger captain. I wouldn't captain him. Is Kane worth a -4? Long term, I think so, but you don't have to take the hit. Tony or Jimenez? Definitely Tony for me. Captain Rudiger or Cancelo? I would rather captain Cancelo. Tossing up between KDB and Tony or Son and Jesus. Plan to wildcard Game Week 12. Thoughts? Hi from Melbourne. Well, thank you very much. Obviously, the other side of the world, mate. I would go for KDB and Tony, but the other two looks really good as well. Maybe the other two is actually better on paper, but I'd probably go KDB and Tony. Force on Jesus, he's a good option. I don't think many people are, like him too much as an option because he's kind of competing with Mahrez and he's in and out of the team. But this season, he has started the vast majority of games for City, so I think it's actually a good choice. Maybe Foden and De Bruyne would be my picks from City, but Jesus is a good option. Play Foster or Sanchez? I'd play Foster this week. Yeah, the Spurs game was misleading. Was so happy. Arsenal makes me want to cry. Yeah, and also just in general, Arsenal, I mean, that's the thing, they're playing with high intensity with a lot of pressure, but they're not doing it now. So literally it's just one game. Worth Lukaku for Vardy for -4? I think so. It is worth it. Would you consider bench boost with Foster, Livramento, Smith Rowe, Duffy? No, because Duffy plays City. Smith Rowe I'm not too confident about. Livramento is decent, and then Foster plays Everton, so I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, it appeared. Yeah, thank you very much, Fahad and the Galactic Hobbit. Yeah, Ben, I answered your question already about Kane. Which three of Antonio, Saka, although I've heard is fit, but I don't know if he'll start. Livramento and Bumo, Jimenez fitness, would you start? Which three? Okay, I'd start Antonio, I would start Livramento, and I'd start Saka or Mbumo. Probably, if I had to pick, yeah, Antonio, Mbumo, and Livramento. James is a differential captain, not for me, David. None of them says Rajat, so who would you go for? I'm guessing it's going to be a Chelsea defender. Unfortunately, I can't put more options. And let's see, 60% of people are going with Salah. That's crazy. 27% are going with Havertz. Obviously, he's the kind of hot topic at the moment. Only 2% for a City asset, so maybe I should have gone for someone else there. And then 11% for Vardy, Son and Kane combined. Obviously, if I remove just one of those players, that could go down to less than 10%. Duffy or Basuma's first sub? I would go for... well, Basuma's probably not going to play, is he? I'm not too sure about his situation, but probably Basuma. But I don't expect any of them to do well. Start Fernandez or Saint-Maximin. Fernandez has a knock. Saint-Maximin has a good fixture as well. I'd still start Bruno. Lukaku or Antonio out. Lukaku. Keep Antonio because Lukaku's out for this week for sure. Hi there. Should I take a -4 to take out Gray and Antonio to get Havertz and Tony? Says Eddie Cassie. I would probably... You could, I mean, to be fair, you're taking a -4 and you're getting rid of two players who could do really well this week in Antonio and Gray, so I wouldn't do it, personally. Lukaku out? Yes. Your prediction for United-Liverpool? I talked about this yesterday, and actually today, I went with a 2-1 win for Liverpool. What about triple Brentford and Foden or Havertz? I still prefer Foden over Havertz, assuming Foden starts, but maybe for the next three, Havertz is the better option, but still, for me, Foden is a better choice long-term. Triple Brentford is an option. Mbumo, Tony and Raya, or maybe Pinnock, one of the other defenders. But I think 2 is probably the kind of sweet spot there. Benrahma out. He's a good option, but I probably would get him out. Gray captain. Could be a really good differential this week. Same with Townsend. Captain Cancelo or Salah. I'd go for Salah. Who should I start out of Jimenez, Livramento, Marcel, Smith Rowe? I would start Livramento. Best Ronaldo replacement. Definitely Vardy or Harry Kane for me. And if not, just Ivan Toney, and then using that money to upgrade your midfield. Captain Antonio and Vice Salah as a differential, leaning towards Mo. Yeah, I mean, if you're leaning towards Mo, then just go for him, I think, John. But once again, this could be a really good opportunity because Salah has a difficult fixture on paper. But then again, I look at the previous stats, over the last 3 game weeks, and United are right down there for expected goals conceded, shots in the box. Even in the Champions League, they're struggling. They're conceding 2 goals per game. So... really, I just think everything's stacked for Salah. He's scored in 9 games in a row. He could make it 10 here. Obviously, you're just kind of thinking, oh, he's due or blank or whatever. But yeah, I'm going for Salah personally. Triple Captain Havertz, not for me. Wait for a double game week or for Salah to have a really good home fixture. Those who Captain Salah will end up in tears. Thank you very much, Basanta. Saint-Maximin out. Not this week, I think, but long term, I'd rather have Tony. Lukaku and Grealish to Vardy and Havertz for a -4. I think it's worth it, William. Yeah, I think it's worth it. Should I start Saint-Maximin against Palace? It depends who you'd bench, but I think it's worth starting. Jota, hold or keep. He is, well, they're the same thing, aren't they? But I'd sell him. Yeah, I'd sell him. Do I start Christensen or Mbumo? Definitely Christensen for me. Bench Mbumo, Smith Rowe or Antonio? I would bench Smith Rowe probably. Definitely start Antonio. Vardy or Tony? Tony's better value for money, and you can get Son in the midfield, but I don't know. I think Vardy is just a really good choice. I'd go for him. Bailey's on my watch list. Yeah, that's true. He's not been talked about much. What do you think about him? Yeah, that's true. But then again, let's wait and see. I mean, he had a really good performance, wasn't it, against Everton in a 3-0 win. Then he got injured in the same game. So let's wait and see. I want to see a bit of consistency first. I'm going to head out. Dylan, have a great stream and game week. Thank you, Eternal, for tuning in. Havertz or Salah captain? Salah for me, but Havertz is a good option. Players under 6 million, I have Mbumo. I would say Gallagher's a good choice. Also Townsend and Gray. Bench Livramento or Tony? I'd probably bench Livramento. That's what I'm doing at the moment, so I'm not going to, give you my adverse opinion. Will Jimenez start? I think he won't, but that's based on the information today. Start 2 from Mbumo, Saka and Armstrong. Mbumo and Saka. Start Elyounoussi, White or Smith Rowe? I would start Ben White. To be fair, it could be Smith Rowe actually out of those two. That's a tough one. Livramento or Hwang? I would probably start... That's tough. Probably Hwang, but very 50-50 there. I don't know what to do. I want to ship one of Ronaldo, Sarr, Josh King. I think Ronaldo to Vardy and Kane or Josh King to Tony. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely do that, Goldhead. I'd do those two transfers, definitely. Doesn't have to be this week, but definitely over the next 2 or 3, I'd make those moves. Start Mbumo, Livramento or Rafinha. Rafinha for me. Benrahma to Son for a -4. I think it could be worth it, to be fair, but then again, you could just wait for next week. Kane or Salah captain, says Kobe. I'd go for Salah. Salah replacement if I have Salah, Rafinha and Townsend. I would go for Mbumo probably. Yeah. Do you think Alonso will start? Not too sure, to be honest. Even less sure than I was in the preview. I think Chilwell could start again. Chilwell captain. If you think he's going to start, then go for it. I think he could be a fantastic option this week, but bear in mind the risks. But make sure you have, the vice captaincy on the player you want. Foden or Vardy captain. Probably Vardy. I mean, in the rankings, I put Foden and De Bruyne 4th and Vardy 3rd, but I think Foden could be really good this week. Bench 1, Livramento, Rafinha and Mbumo. I did answer this already, I think, but I would bench Mbumo. Still going without Man City defender, not feeling the need, to be fair. No one's essential, to be fair. You can do really well without a certain player, maybe except Salah this season, but I can see why. -4 for Townsend. It depends who you get rid of, but he could be good this week, I think. Havertz to Benrahma for a -4. Could be a really good hit, to be honest. Bench 1, Livramento, Rafinha and Mbumo. Yeah, I answered this question already, mate. Should I captain Havertz? I want to increase my rank from 89k. If you have a good feeling about him, then go for it. Captain CR7 or Salah? Salah for me. Hi, would you bench Livramento or say Max? I would probably bench Livramento out of the two, but that's a tough one. Start Jimenez or Benrahma. Got Antonio already. I would probably start Benrahma because of the Jimenez news, but that could backfire if I'm being honest. Townsend or Gray? Townsend just a little bit more. Are we ignoring Tony for captaincy? I think he could be really good because Leicester would have the ball, which could play into the hands of Brentford. He was really good against Chelsea. That's a good point, but then again, I think Leicester like to counter-attack themselves, and that's when they're at their best. And of course, they're playing this 5 at the back formation, so it could go the other way around. And also, Tony, he has 1 double-digit return this season, I believe, but maybe there are just better options elsewhere, in my opinion, like Vardy, Foden, De Bruyne, Son, Kane, Salah, of course, Chelsea defender, Havertz. So not too sure about that, but Tony is a good option. And maybe for the captaincy, maybe we are overlooking him. Bench 1 of Jimenez, Rafinha and Mbumo. I would bench probably... Normally I'd say Mbumo, but because of the news about Jimenez, I might, say bench him. Definitely start Rafinha, no matter what you do. Would you transfer Zaha for Havertz if you already made 1 or 2 transfers? No, I wouldn't, because Zaha could do really well against Newcastle. He's actually back now from illness, I believe, so he should be fine, and he could do really well this week. All transfers are free, fair enough, but I wouldn't do that. Havertz to Benrahma for a -4. I think it's worth it. You deserve respect from managers. Thank you very much, Basanta. Is Rudiger fit? He is. He played in the Champions League. Vardy or Jesus? Vardy for me. Is Mason Mount a good choice? Yes, he is. James will start, or should I go for Rudiger? Go for Rudiger. He's just more nailed. Shaw to Aspie, Saka to Havertz, CR7 to Vardy for a -8, considering Havertz' captaincy. Yeah, I think that's, I don't like -8s, but that could be worth it. If not, just take a -4 and get Vardy and potentially Aspie in. But yeah, I think that's still a good hit, to be fair. Start Jimenez or Benrahma? Yeah, I answered this already, Robin, and I would probably start Benrahma based on the Jimenez news. The Jimenez news is that he started training today, hasn't trained all week, so he is a doubt. It's going to be a last-minute decision by Bruno Lager whether he starts or not. Vice captain in FPL is as useful as a refrigerator in Antarctica. Yeah, but you still have to have it right just in case, because let's say, for example, you captain Chilwell and he doesn't play, then you need that vice captain to be good. How about Aubameyang? He could be a nice pump for the next few, but I honestly would just go for Vardy or Kane directly. Bernardo Silva or Mbumo? Probably Mbumo, but Bernardo Silva has been good this season. McCarthy or Raya? Raya for me. No problem. Read my mind. Nice name. Reminds me of the song. Have Marcel, Malpai, Duffy and Allen who to play or to take a hit to get a Chelsea defender, or Malpai to Tony? I would, out of those players, I would start Marcel, and Malpai to Tony looks good. How I captain Salah, Foden or Vardy? I would captain Salah, but Foden and Vardy are good choices too. Cheers to you, brother. Really appreciate the hard work you do reading every single comment. Thank you very much, Saha. Really appreciate it. Sarr and Jimenez out for Havertz and Hwang with Havertz captain -4. I think it's worth it. Minzulu. Yeah, I think that's worth it. Mount captain, not for me, Jay, because Mount hasn't shown over his career, that ability to get double-digit returns, so I probably wouldn't go there. Livramento over Trent this week. Burnley have 5 goals all season. Can't see Trent keeping a clean sheet. Yeah, if you think, obviously, look, that's what you think, so maybe just start Livramento over him. So you could be onto something there, and that will obviously give you a nice advantage over most. White or Marcel in the first 11? Probably White for me. Yeah, I answered your question already about Salah, Foden or Vardy captain. I would go for Salah. So there's your answer. Should we start Jimenez? What if he comes for 1 point? That's the thing. There is a risk of that happening. So if you just think he's not going to start, then maybe just bench him. Captain Vardy or Havertz? Out of those two, I would captain Vardy, but Havertz is a really good choice too. Is it worth having 2 Chelsea defenders on a wild card? Which 2? It is worth it, but maybe it's worth having City defenders over them. And definitely for me, if you can afford it, Rudiger and Azpilicueta are the 2 best. Saka to Havertz for a -4 and captain. I think it's worth it, Josh. Salah, Ronaldo or Jesus captain? For me, it'd be Salah. Welcome, Genius Gamer. Is there any substance to rumours of protests at Manchester United and risk of match postponement like in May? I'm not too sure, to be honest. I saw someone comment that the other day. It might have been you, and I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen. Obviously, let's wait and see. The last time it happened, it caught me by surprise. So it's worth bearing in mind it could happen, but I don't think it will. Start Marcel or Livramento? Livramento for me. Ahmed. Start 5. Oh wow. Trent, James, Livramento, and Mbumo, Hwang, Armstrong's ESR. So bench 2. I would bench Mbumo and Armstrong. Werner out for Wilson. I don't have enough money. Well, to be fair, you could bench Smither actually, but yeah, definitely bench Armstrong. Werner out for Wilson. I don't have enough money for Vardy or Aubameyang. Fair enough. Yeah, I can see what you mean. And if not, you can just get Tony. Thanks for the stream, Dylan. Play Ben White or Livramento? I would play Livramento actually. If you had Havertz, would you captain him over Salah? No, I wouldn't probably, but I would be tempted, to be fair. So obviously I might change my mind about it. When will be the double game weeks? Second half of the season, we don't know that yet. Probably around January or something, when the FA Cup comes into play, also the Champions League and the Club World Cup. That should be a confirmed blank for Chelsea because they're going to be missing games around January. Is Jimenez starting? I don't think so. I could be wrong though, so don't hold me to that. Chilwell and Jimenez in for Ronaldo and Shaw out for a -4. I wouldn't be bringing in Jimenez, especially with the news of him potentially not starting in Game Week 9, so I wouldn't do that. But Shaw to Chilwell, I would go ahead with that if you can afford it. Don't you think Livramento high chance of a clean sheet than Trent? Potentially, to be fair. That is a good point. And I might actually make a move there. Best replacement for Lukaku, I already have Tony and Vardy. That's a good point. In that case, Harry Kane, or if not, maybe just Antonio. I normally say Jimenez, but he is a bit of a doubt this week. And obviously it depends what you want to do with the rest of your squad. So if you want enough money to get Son in midfield, then maybe go for someone cheaper, ultimately. Why might Jimenez not start? It's because he only started training today and Bruno Lage is going to make a last minute decision to start him or not. Should I start Livramento instead? It's up to you, depending on what you think is going to happen in terms of Jimenez starting or not. But I think Livramento is a bit safer. Wilson in, he's a good choice, but he's just too injury prone and Newcastle was so unreliable. Benrahma out, says Adam. I think it is worth getting rid of him. Will Jimenez be benched or not a sub? I think he did travel with the squad, so he should be on the bench at least, but he might not start. Hi mate, just found the stream, great content. Brought in Tony for Lukaku and Smith Rowe for Havertz from -4. Thoughts? So I'm guessing, yeah, you got Havertz in for Smith Rowe. Yeah, I think that's a good hit, to be fair. I think that's good. Yeah, Kieran, I already talked about Jimenez. He only started training today. Bruno Lage might not play him. Obviously, there's a lot of rumours going out at the moment and reports. Bench 1, Adama or Sarr or Shaw. I would bench Adama Traore. Actually, probably Shaw, but that's a tough one. Best 6 million and under defender. For me, it is Rudiger. Yeah. Diaz out for Cancelo. I wouldn't make a move like that. Cancelo at the moment looks better, but you probably want to save those transfers for other moves. So not for me. Which three forwards? Already have Vardy and Tony on a wild card. Maxima 7.5 million. Yeah, that's a tough one. 7.5 million. I'd have to think about that, to be honest. That's a tough one. Obviously, if anyone has any ideas as well, let me know. I think Watkins could be a good one, actually. But then again, would I go for him? I'm not too sure. Let's see. Yeah, someone said my mic's gone. Let me know if that's the case. If it is, then I'll fix it. Let's see. Ings or Bowen? I would play Danny Ings, but Bowen could do well as well. I don't know how to say that. Whom to captain, Salah or Vardy? I'd go for Salah at the moment, but Vardy's tempting. Should I start Saka and James or Livramento, Hwang and Tomiyasu? I'd start Livramento and James, but bear in mind that James could be benched. Bench one of Jimenez, Rafinha and Mbumo. I would bench Mbumo, but then again, Jimenez might not start. Do you know if Alonso's going to play or start? Honestly, mate, I don't know. And anyone who says they know is lying to you, because only Tuchel will know that. But I think Chilwell might start based on, what happened in the Champions League. Mike is fine, Dylan. Thank you very much, Marco. Start Marcel or Livramento? I would start Livramento. Which goalie is best for the next few games? Around 5.5 million budget. For me, it's Raya. Ramsdale for the next few, but I'd probably say Raya. Yeah. Your mic is still good for me. Thank you, Galactic Hobbit. Watkins and Ings are good options. Yeah, exactly. Especially Watkins potentially. I mean, Ings is probably he is the more clinical finisher. I think Watkins could be interesting though. Manquillo for Livramento for a -4. I wouldn't take a hit for a defender, even though Livramento will outperform him probably. Sanchez or Raya? Raya for me. Do you think Laporte plays? I think so. Your mic is fine. Thank you very much, Mikey. Mbumo and Tony double up. It's worth it, but then again, you don't have to have both of them. You could just get one, to be fair. Start Jimenez or Livramento? Normally I'd say Jimenez, but because of the news, I might say Livramento, honestly. It's a tough one though. Best cheap midfielder, got 4.7 million to spare. Only 4.7 million. Then it's between Douglas, Luiz, Brownhill or Allen, for example. Just go for one of those three. If you want as much money as possible in your squad, then just go for Brownhill. Hey Dylan, have you ever topped GE? What's GE? Apologies if I sound very naive there or ignorant, but yeah, I'm guessing a game week. Will Saka start? I think so, but I could be wrong. Start 2 from Livramento, Mbumo, Armstrong and Saka, and why? I would start Livramento and either Saka or Mbumo, and the reason why is because Armstrong is the most likely to be on the bench from those four. I think Livramento can keep a clean sheet against Burnley, who have only scored 5 goals all season. Mbumo and Saka, I'm not too confident in either of them, but I think they're more likely to get points than Armstrong. Yusuf says, I'm confused. I'm thinking about James because he has more attacking returns against weak teams in Premier League. That's why I want to go for him. Why? What do you think? Well, I'm not going to change my mind, to be honest. I know he got 18 points against Arsenal, a weak team, for example, but I just wouldn't go for him because long term, you want to have transfers and players who you can just, not think about for the foreseeable future, and you can just keep them in your team for as long as possible, especially defenders. So just go for Rudiger and Azpilicueta if you have the money. There's no need to go for Reece James, who also, another bad thing about Reece James is he comes on from the bench for a one-pointer instead of allowing you to get someone like Livramento off your bench who might get a clean sheet that week. So honestly, just in my opinion, don't go for Reece James. Best defender for 5.2 for a -4. Christensen for me. Best mid-price forward. I already have Tony and Antonio, and I'm worried about Jimenez after manager's comments on him, thinking about Wilson. Yeah, Wilson or Watkins would probably, catch my attention. Also Broca at 5 million. Can you please order these three? Jimenez, Saka, Livramento. Based on the news of Jimenez, I would say Livramento first, Jimenez second, and Saka third. What do you think is the best Decore replacement for next week other than Mbumo? Either Gray or Townsend as a like-for-like replacement, or Gallagher. That would be my pick. Tuchel may actually start James over Aspie versus Norwich, and that worries me. It would suck. Yeah, true. That is another possibility. That's why we just don't know with this guy. Same with Pep Guardiola. First choice sub for Game Week 9, Sarr or Marcel? Sarr for me. Bench one of Armstrong, Livramento and Jimenez. I would bench Armstrong. Is Havertz to play? Potentially, but I haven't gone for him myself. Have you ever topped Game Week? No, that's a tough thing to do, to be fair. So I've never topped the Game Week for the whole world. Thanks for the feedback, bro. Refreshing to see an FPL account that takes considerable time to actually answer people's questions. Good luck, bud. Thank you very much for the feedback. Really appreciate it. And obviously, it does get difficult with so many comments, but I try my best. Thank you very much, mate. Mbuma at Leicester versus Leicester at home, or Saka? It's a tough one. It's a 50-50. I would probably say Mbuma, but if you already have Tony, then you could just maybe balance it out and get Saka in there. Best mid-price forward? Yeah, I answered this question, James. Go on, mate. You want to captain Vardy? Yeah, maybe, to be fair. Hudson-Odoi might be worth a shout, but it could backfire badly. That's true. Rudiger or Cancelo? At the moment, Cancelo. But that could change in a few weeks if Cancelo starts to get benched. Have Antonio Benrahma in as Tottenham are leaking goals, but Saint-Maximin lurking on my bench. Start Saint-Maximin over Benrahma? Yeah, I probably would, to be fair. But that could backfire at the same time, John. But I probably would in your situation. That's just... I could be wrong, though. KDB or James captain? KDB for me, definitely. I have Sanchez and Duffy on the bench. Should I start them against Man City or Ryan Livramento? Ryan Livramento for me, K. Hi, Dylan. I have Son on the bench. Need your help. Shall I bench him? Shall I start with him? I have these starting: Tony, Vardy, Antonio. My midfielders: Townsend, Gray, Salah, Rafinha. Yeah, that's a good midfield and attack. And Son on your bench? No, don't bench Son. Don't bench Son. Start him over. Oh yeah, who do you start him over? I honestly wouldn't bench Son. Maybe start him over Townsend or Gray, but that could literally backfire on you. Havertz triple captain confirmed. Good luck. Obviously, you can cancel it, just letting you know. But, all the best of luck there. Start Reece James and Saka or Mbumo? Or start Mbumo and Saka over James? I would start Reece James and Mbumo, to be honest, out of those you say. I have free transfer. Do you suggest going with Havertz or Mbumo? Over the next 3 game weeks, I'd say Havertz, but Mbumo longer term is probably a better option. Will Armstrong play? Obviously, I'd love to know these things and give you concrete answers. I'm just going to offer you my opinion. I think he won't, based on what happened last game week. Thank you for the advice. Thank you, Ahmed. -4 Lukaku to Kane. I think it could be worth it long term. Yeah. Will Alonso play? I'm just not sure, to be honest. I can't answer that. It could be Chilwell. Would you rather have Foden or Son? Definitely Son for me, Aranya. I have free transfer. Do you suggest going with Havertz or Mbumo? Yeah, I answered this already, Yusuf. And for the next 3 Havertz, longer term, probably Mbumo. Son, Havertz or City mid Foden? Son for me. Townsend or Gallagher? Townsend, but Gallagher, I wouldn't bench him. Captain Foden, Salah or Vardy? Salah for me, but I'd like the other 2. If you're 200k in the world, would you back against Salah to gain places or stick with Salah? I don't pay too much attention to rank at this stage, but I would be tempted, even more so around 200k, so I would think about it, to be fair, yeah. 4 million in the bank, so should I go for Havertz captain for -4 for a 4.4 million player? Yes, but only if you would be happy with 5 midfielders and changing your formation slightly potentially. Bench 2: Diaz, Trent, Livramento and Hwang, having Cancelo and Aspie starting. I would bench, that's tough, that's really tough. Hwang potentially, and maybe Trent or Livramento. And at the moment I'm going for Trent over Livramento, so I'd probably play him. How long could Lukaku be out for? Well, according to the Telegraph, and I talked about this yesterday when the news broke, it looks like it's going to be out for a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks, according to Matt Law at The Telegraph. He's a Chelsea journalist. Would you start Sarr or Jimenez? Based on the news, potentially Sarr. Is Foden actually going to play the majority of the games, considering he played in the Champions League, or in the minutes? Not too sure. I think he'll play at least 60, but I could be wrong. Who to bench between Livramento and Christensen, plus have Rudiger in the starting 11? I would bench Livramento because Chelsea against Norwich should be almost dead cert for a clean sheet. Obviously, you never know though. Lukaku and Saka to Kane and Rafinha, or Vardy and Havertz for -4. Kane and Rafinha I'd go for. Any news for Reece James to start this game week? Nothing really. We just don't know. It will be him or Azpilicueta right wing back. I think Hudson-Odoi could be filling in for one of the attacking roles. Who do you think will be a solid starter this week, Foden or Havertz? I think both of them will start, but I still prefer Foden long term. Livramento or Benrahma on the bench, first bench. Probably Benrahma, but then again, I think Livramento's more likely to get you 6 points. I think Benrahma's ceiling is higher. That's why I prefer him. Vardy or Kane for this week? Vardy for me, but I like Kane too. Vinay, I answered your question already. I went with Kane and Rafinha. Sell Cancelo to get Son? Ooh, I wouldn't be too... I'm not too sure about that, to be honest. I probably wouldn't. Bench Jimenez for Diaz or Rudiger? Yeah, I would. I'd start both of them over Jimenez. Best 4.5 million defender? I'd still say Ben White or Shane Duffy. Hwang or Tony? Tony for me. -8 for Vardy and Christensen. I would try to avoid that if possible. It also depends who you get rid of, but good transfers in. Which three on a wildcard and why? Cancelo, Diaz, Aspi, Rudiger. That's a good question. Probably Cancelo, probably Aspi and Diaz. Long term, I think City have a better defence and better fixtures. Chelsea have better fixtures up until Game Week 14, but up until 25 and beyond, City have better games, to be fair. I did KDB instead of Vardy. I took a risk. Good luck with that, and to be fair, KDB is a good punt. Thank you very much for your comment, Utkarsh. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name. Apologies if I did. Start Livramento or Armstrong? Livramento for me. Why has everyone jumped on Havertz? It's because he's playing up front. Werner and Lukaku are injured. That's why. And he's playing Norwich. Start Livramento or Chilwell? I would start Chilwell, to be fair. What about -4 for Gallagher and Jimenez out and Havertz and Tony in? Says Eddie. Yeah, those are good transfers, but honestly, I just do Jimenez to Tony potentially. Because Gallagher could do really well this week, so it's a bit risky to do that. Hwang or Gray? Gray for me. Do you think Havertz might come out at 60? I mean, does Tuchel have enough good players to keep them and change Havertz, or can he play 90 minutes? That's a good point. I'm not sure, to be honest. We haven't seen this situation arise yet this season, so we just don't know what he's going to do. But I think Havertz will get at least 60, 70 minutes, and he might get subbed off slightly early. Thank you, Karim. Sal Sanchez. If you have a spare transfer to make, then maybe, but honestly, you could just play Foster instead and then have Sanchez for the future game weeks. Are you getting rid of Antonio next week? I don't think so. I've got other transfers to make, but as parts of my plans to get Son, Antonio could make way for a cheaper striker. So I am thinking of getting someone like Callum Wilson or someone like that potentially, but obviously nothing's defined there yet. Which goalkeeper on a wild card? Either Raya or Ramsdale. Same as before. Havertz and Son or Vardy and Kane? I would go for Vardy. Vardy and Son. Vardy and Son, Faris. Get rid of Rafinha for Havertz from -4. No, don't get rid of Rafinha. I think he's a better option than Havertz long term. Vardy or Salah for captain? Salah for me, but Vardy's tempting. Ronaldo plus Benrahma. Havertz to Alba. If you're getting rid of Ronaldo, I would just get Vardy in, but I'm guessing you want enough money to get Havertz in for Benrahma. I wouldn't get Aubameyang, to be honest, but still, could be a good punt for the next 3 or 4. Longer term, though, those two transfers you're making, I wouldn't be too sure about them. Play White or -4 for Christensen. Play White. Mbeumo or Livramento for the bench. Mbeumo. Vardy or Salah for captaincy. Salah. How about Livramento versus Jimenez? Who to bench? I would bench Jimenez based on the information we've gotten recently. Thanks, Dylan. I know the Son, Townsend, Gray is a dilemma in my midfield. I'm going to bench Son. Fair enough. I probably wouldn't, but there you go. Raya, Cancelo, Laporte, Chilwell, James, Rafinha, Salah, Havertz, Antonio, Tony. I'm on wildcard with 13 million in the bank. Who is my last forward or midfielder? I'd say... So look, I would probably downgrade. This is my opinion, obviously. It's your wild card. I would change Laporte to either Rudiger or Azpilicueta. potentially, or if not Diaz. Chilwell, I'd rather have... You have Chilwell and Reece James. I would not have Reece James, to be honest. So you can get a budget defender for one of those. And as for your striker midfielder, either Son, Vardy or Kane. Take your pick there. But one of those three for sure. I'd probably go for Heung-min Son. How about Livramento versus Jimenez? Who to bench? Yeah, I answered this already. I would bench Jimenez. Sanchez or Foster? I would play Foster this week. Start Traore or Benrahma? Definitely Benrahma for me. Jimenez in, Lukaku out for a -8. Mbeumo is first off my bench. I wouldn't get Jimenez in because he's a doubt for this week to start, so I wouldn't do that, especially for a -8. Would you bring in Foden or Rafinha this week? I still prefer Rafinha long term, so I would get him. But this week specifically, I think Foden is probably a bit more likely to get points. Kane or Vardy? Vardy for me, that's why I went for him. Any news about Jimenez? It's just what I said before. No updates since this stream has gone by, but he is a doubt to start in the weekend because he only started training today and Bruno Lage is going to make a last-minute decision about him. What if Saka starts? Then he starts. I'm not really too worried about him, to be honest. Thank you, George. Sorry, forgot to add Chilwell. Which three of Cancelo, Diaz, Rudiger, Aspi and Chilwell? Still the same for me. Cancelo, probably Diaz and Azpilicueta, but Rudiger's also really good, to be fair. Do I transfer Foden or Saka for a -4? Probably Foden. I'd rather have him. Who should I bench? Mbeumo or Hwang or Townsend? I would bench Mbeumo. I'd definitely start Townsend this week. Start Fernandes or St. Max? I'd start Fernandes, Alex. Lukaku for Eduardo or Tony? Tony. I'm already got Tony. Should I take a hit and get Tony 2 in place of Benrahma Rafinha? Not necessarily. You don't have to take a hit for that, okay? Best captain this week. Whoever starts between Chilwell and Alonso, Salah, Vardy, Kane and Son, and also I think, excluding those, I think Foden or De Bruyne. I have a really good feeling about a City attacker this week. I think I'm going to bench Trent and play Gallagher. Thoughts? I probably would do the same in your situation. If Saka's benched, does he come on? He could, to be honest, yeah. I think so. If Arsenal are chasing the game or something, and even just to build his minutes up, I think it could happen, to be fair. Yeah. Should I start Benrahma or Traore? I would start Benrahma. I answered this question already. Start 1. Sarr, Livramento or Saint-Maximin? I would start Saint-Maximin. Man, really debating on whether to captain my Lukaku replacement or Salah. Man United let in tons of goals, but you never know with them. Yeah, it's a good point. I still would go Salah, but there's nothing wrong with going with Foden, De Bruyne, Son, Kane and Vardy, of course. Start Jimenez or Mbeumo. Already have Tony. Then I'd start Jimenez, but just bear in mind he could come on for a 1-pointer. That could happen. I have Sarr. Is there a doubt? There's no doubt surrounding him, but he's not going to play in a central striker role. King is back. Sarr will be playing on the right wing. I think he's a decent option this week, to be fair. Do I get in Foden or Havertz and get Saka out for a -4? I would rather get Foden, but for the next 3, Havertz is a better choice on paper. Kane or Vardy? I answered this already, Hotspot, and I went with Vardy. Yeah, you plan to get Son anyway. Yeah, I'd go for Vardy. Bench Cancelo or Sarr, and I have Diaz. I'd bench Sarr. This is the last time I'm requesting to not to captain Salah. Yeah, it's not going to be many times this season. I'm taking a -4 for Lukaku to Tony. Should I take another hit for Sarr to Havertz? Not for me. Salah or Kane this week? Salah for me. When did Timo Werner become an FPL advisor? Probably since since last season. Start Tony or Antonio? Start both. Honestly, if I had to pick, I'd start Antonio. I feel like Saka will either start or not be in the squad, so would get bench play anyway. Fair enough. Should I bench Chilwell? No, don't bench Chilwell. Best goalkeeper: Raya, Ramsdale, Salah, Sanchez or McCarthy. Raya or Ramsdale for me. Up to you who you go for. Chalobah to start, I think it's a possibility. Kerwin. Bernardo Silva or Rafinha? I'd rather get Rafinha. Captain Salah or Havertz? Salah for me, but Havertz is a good differential. Saka or Jimenez first and second bench? Normally I'd say Jimenez for sure over Saka, but because of the news, I'd be a bit concerned. Probably still Jimenez over him. Would you start Ronaldo against Paul or change him for someone with it? For a free transfer, I would change him anyway. I wouldn't want him in my team, and I'd get Vardy or Kane. Vardy and Havertz in for Lukaku and Decore. Good moves, Kerwin. I like that. Livramento or Greenwood to start? I'd probably go for Livramento, but Greenwood can do well against Liverpool. Is it important to get rid of 4.5 million midfielders for the long term? Not necessarily. If you have more than one, then yes, try to have 4 good midfielders and 1 bench fodder. But there's nothing wrong with going 3-4-3 or 4-4-2 and, you know, having a bench fodder option. You don't have to upgrade them unnecessarily. Bench 2, yeah, Safari, I think you asked this before. Diaz, Trent, Livramento, Hwang, Cancelo and Aspi starting. Yeah, I answered this already. I said I would bench Livramento probably and Hwang, but if not, if you don't back Liverpool for the clean sheet, then bench Trent and play Livramento. Vardy, Son or Salah? I'm going for Salah for the captaincy. Sarr or Gray for me. Bench Livramento or Jimenez? I would probably bench Jimenez based on the news we got. Should I start Benrahma or Traore? Benrahma, mate. I answered this already. Bench Mbumo or Townsend? Yeah, I'd bench Mbumo. Play Mbumo or Diaz? Diaz. I have Tony. Should I take Mbumo for Benrahma? You don't have to do that yet. You could maybe just wait for next week. Benrahma could do well this week. Thank you for the super chat. You never walk alone, Anchor. Really appreciate it. And oh yeah, there's no message, but thank you very much. You didn't have to, of course. And yeah, very much appreciated. Cancelo will start this week, I think so, and I think he'll be benched in the Carabao. The one who is top in this game week will be the one who captains Havertz. Fair enough. Best under 6 million midfielder: Mbumo, Townsend, Gray, or Gallagher. One of those for sure. Thank you, Jack. When do you tend to use the second wild card? I've only played 2 or 3 seasons in FPL. I tend to use it around. I'm trying to think here. Around, I'd say mid game week 25 or mid game week 20, so 25 to 30 maybe, 25 to 33. But there's no kind of timestamp. It's ultimately a team dependent question, and you never know. Thank you for your time and advice as always. Good luck. Thank you. You never walk alone. Really appreciate it, and obviously for the super chat as well. You didn't have to. Are you planning to get Son in game week 12? I am, and I'm gonna have to make a few changes. You know, Diaz maybe to Duffy. Antonio to a cheaper striker, and then I can get Son in for Saka. Thank you, Cohen. Would you bench Smith Rowe or Trent? I would bench Smith Rowe. How about Demarai Gray for captain? It could be a really good differential, Gaurav. I wouldn't go there myself, but I think he could do well. Force on. No, I'm not going to say that, mate. I'm not going to fall into that. Bench Saint-Maximin or Trent? I would bench. That's a tough one. Maybe Trent. I know it sounds a bit weird. Hello, nice squad. I'm going for Salah captain as well. What do you think about taking a -4 for Son? Jota out. I think it's worth it, Versta. I think you don't have to make the move this week, but ultimately that hit will pay off. Benrahma or Sarr? I would start both of them this week. I wouldn't bench either, but I'd probably start Benrahma over him. If you already have Antonio, then you could just spread the risk, but I'd probably start Benrahma. Thank you for the advice. All the best. Thank you, Safari. Rudiger and Mbumo for Reguilon, and Allen, or Rudiger and Livramento for Reguilon and Williams. Yeah, Rudiger and Mbumo. I'd do that, definitely. 6 minutes for the deadline. Oh, wait, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus, time has gone by so quickly. This has been such fun. Maybe for me. I don't want to speak on your behalf as well, but thank you so much, guys and girls. Would you bench Saka or Laporte? Saka. Start Livramento or Tomiyasu? I would start Livramento. Foster or Sanchez? I would start Foster, Perky. Good luck to Dylan and everyone for Game Week 9. Thank you, Sidindra. You too. All the very best of luck. I'm going to check Twitter now, see if there's any news that I've kind of missed out on, but I'm not too sure. And thank you, obviously, like I said before, to everyone who has tuned in today. Really much appreciated. Let's see. Let me try get Twitter up. Don't mean to brag, but got more points than you in Game Week 8. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, to be fair, you are thinking of the Havertz captaincy, so maybe that's why. Thanks, good luck. Thank you, Versta. 90k overall rank, so should I go differential captain? You don't have to. It's up to you. Who do you think is going to score more points? That's the way I see it. It sounds very simple, but that's what I would do. And I would go for Salah. Do you think Christensen will start? I think so, but maybe. You never know with Thomas Tuchel. He might bench him for Chalobah. Should I have either Rafinha or Vardy? I would try to have both of them. But yeah, you don't have to have any of them, but I would try to have them. Captain Vardy, Aspi, Cancelo or Greenwood. I have Salah, but no way he's scoring. I disagree with that, to be fair. I would probably go for Vardy from those. I'm going for Kane as captain this week, says Kurt. Good luck with that, and obviously good to see you on here again. Is there actually any news? I don't see anything on Twitter. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. yeah, let me know if there's anything. Let's see, what else have I missed. I'm going for Kane as captain. Yeah, I said that. Lukaku and Brownhill to Havertz and Davis -4 worth it, or Lukaku to Vardy? Lukaku to Vardy for sure. Gallagher good to start. Yeah, he should be. And thanks for answering as many questions as possible. Your insights are really helpful. Thank you very much for your comment. And yes, I think Gallagher should start, and I would start him in my FPL team if I had him. Thanks for your help. Thank you, Michael. Alan or Jimenez? Definitely Jimenez for me. Still no lineups. Yeah, no kind of early news, I think. Would you captain Havertz over Salah? Probably not, but he is a good option. Start Reece James or Mbeumo? Reece James, but I am a bit concerned about him starting. Start Hwang or Livramento? I would probably start Livramento, but Hwang is a good option as well. Gray or Sarr? Gray, but I wouldn't... Well, yeah, probably just Gray. Havertz captain, good option. I'm not going to go there myself. I'm not taking a hit to get him in. Will Christensen start? I think so, Ajani. Livramento or Benrahma on first bench? I'd probably go for Benrahma. Benrahma's a good option, but I would probably get rid of him in the coming weeks. Do you think he will score against Spurs? Maybe, but if not, he might just get an assist. But I think he could do well against Spurs. One more. Sorry for bothering you. Saka or Livramento first sub? Livramento, and yeah, no worries, Perky. Alan or Jimenez in the team? Jimenez, mate. Jimenez. Best wishes, Dylan, from the west of Ireland. Have a great weekend. Come on, the Villa. Oh, you're a Villa fan. I think Villa could get all 3 points today, unfortunately. And yeah, good luck with game week 9. Hopefully Arsenal win, but I'm just not really feeling it or seeing it. Livramento or Reguilon? Livramento. Start Saka and Mbeumo. Bench order between Livramento and Mbeumo Saka. I'd start maybe Mbeumo, and I'd put Livramento first sub. Smith Rowe to Bowen. Nah, I wouldn't get Bowen. Best of luck, Dylan. Thank you, Basanta. Go for Livramento, bro. Yeah, maybe over Trent and maybe Captain Vardy. I could do stuff like that. Ronaldo plus Benrahma plus to Vardy and Havertz -4. I think it's worth it, Captain Jack. Benrahma could do well this week, even Ronaldo, but yeah, I think that's a good hit. Livramento or Benrahma on the first bench? Benrahma. Sarr or Adama? I would start Sarr. Alan or Jimenez? Jimenez, Shank. There's no need to repeat the same question. Start Gallagher or Saint-Maximin? I would start Gallagher. What's wrong with Jimenez? He's trained today, so he wasn't training for the whole week, so he might not even start. It's going to be a late decision by Bruno Laga. Dallas or Digne? I'd start Digne. Cash or Walker? I'd start Walker. Sanchez or Foster? I would start Foster this week. Dallas or Digne? Yeah, I answered that. Arsenal clean sheet? No, not for me. Marcel to White or White? I'd start White this week. Trent or Livramento first bench? Trent, but yeah. Wow. United fan, don't want to captain Salah. Fair enough. But then again, just think of it this way. If Salah scores, Liverpool smack United, but you get the points, you have a bit of a consolation. Just saying. That's how I kind of approach it when someone plays Arsenal. I think Vardy a few years ago got like 13, 14 points against Arsenal. I captained him. I wasn't happy though, but you know. Vardy captain, fair enough. Yeah, not many people are doing that this week. Is Chilwell going to play? He might do, to be honest, but I can't give you a concrete answer. I don't want to lie or, you know, just say, oh yeah, he definitely is, when he might not. Livramento versus Mbeumo. I would start Livramento this week. I'm captaining Havertz. Fair enough. Good luck with that, Nico. First bench, Duffy or Pookie? Pookie for me. Traore or Livramento? Livramento. James or Arnold? I would go for Arnold. Then again, though, yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, he is facing Norwich. Why I'd be a bit concerned is because he might come on for a one-pointer. But if it was Chilwell or Alonso, I'd definitely say them over Arnold this week. No players from the first game. Boring as fuck. Yeah, fair enough. I've got Ramsdale, but yeah, in your situation, I would rather have no Arsenal players because it's so stressful. You know, the team is stressful enough, and then having FPL repercussions tied into Arsenal. Oh my god, it's stressful. Oh, the deadline has passed. Yeah, 1 minute till deadline. Early predictions for Qatar. I think one of Argentina, Germany, France, or Brazil or Italy. One of those nations are definitely winning it. I don't think Spain will. I think they can go far. But one of those nations are winning. I think Germany are actually doing really well now under their new manager. I think they're a force to be reckoned with. I think Argentina are the best from South America. They're one of the best teams in the world. As for, I don't think England are going to win it. Same with Portugal. I don't know. at least what we've seen over the last year, they don't really fill me with confidence. And then, yeah, France, they have on paper the best team in the world, but they don't have the best collective unit. Belgium, just their bottlers, really, honestly. So, no. Bench 1, Mbeumo, Livramento, Hwang. I would just bench Mbeumo, like I said before, Ninja. Start Smith Rowe, Livramento. Yeah, man, still captaining Salah. Yeah, that's what I've done as well. And the deadline has passed. Livramento's my first sub. Saka second, Douglas Luiz third. I've got Ramsdale in goal. Diaz, Trent, Azpilicueta, Cancelo in my defence. Townsend, Salah captain, Rafinha, Antonio, Tony, and my new signing, Jamie Vardy, who has replaced the injured Romelu Lukaku. And there goes the deadline. Good luck, everyone. Thank you, Rock and Roll. Good luck to you as well. Son or Salah captain? Still Salah for me, Rafa, but Son is not a bad choice. Yeah, deadline has gone. The deadline has passed. It's done, lads. Yeah. Smith Rowe, Livramento for me. Bad bones. You're absolutely brilliant, bro. Thanks for the advice. Thank you, Cohen. Really appreciate the kind words. Yeah, we're locked in, Gaurav. We are locked in. Thanks for the advice, Dylan. Thank you, Iqbal. Really appreciate it. Germany. Look, I don't think they're going to win it, but I think they have a chance. That's basically what I'm saying. One of those 5 nations are going to win it. If I had to narrow it down, a bit biased, but Argentina, France, I think Italy have a really good chance as well, just because of how solid they are defensively and they're tough to beat. I hope Argentina win it, and they have the team, and I think they can do it. England, boo Germany. Yeah, I hate Germany, and they are Argentina's kryptonite in World Cups. I bloody hate them, but I think they have a chance. And I know they were really awful in the last few years, but they are looking much better now. But then again, they are facing some poor opposition. Oh gosh, I transferred Foden out for Havertz with 1 minute to go and put the captaincy on Aspie. What did I just do? It could backfire. I would rather have Foden over Havertz long term, but still not the worst decision in the world. Argentina, lol. Mate, it's the longest unbeaten run in international of any international team. Do your research. Thanks, brother. You're probably one of the best, if not the best YouTubers. Good luck. I don't know about that, but thank you very much, mate, for your kind words. And good luck with this game week. I started playing fantasy this season. I'm completely addicted to it. Crazy. Yeah, I try to offload myself, when I'm, in my free time. Obviously, I do enjoy it, and I do research and I do all this different stuff. But yeah, it's good to disconnect a little bit, I think. I don't think Cancelo's starting this week. I think he will, but, I don't blame you for thinking that. Sanchez or Foster? Foster for me this week. Oh shit, I captain Vardy over Salah, says Goldhead. Yeah, it could actually turn out to be alright, to be fair. Is Vardy, Tony and Wilson good choice? Yes, they are. I think they're good players. Wilson's just kind of injury prone though. India versus Pakistan on Sunday. Yeah, that's the cricket, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not interested in that, to be honest, but that just goes for all cricket, to be fair. But there's a lot of good sport this month. Even if Lukaku wasn't injured, would you have transferred him out this week? Nah. If he wasn't injured, I probably wouldn't have. But it was just a sign, I think, from the FPL gods. Transfer in Vardy or Harry Kane. Captain Vardy last minute, maybe should have played it safe with a 5k overall. Yeah, most people in your situation would have just gone for Salah, but then again, that could be the difference, and entry into the top 1k, but obviously very early on. Gracias por el buen consejo, Dylan. Buena suerte y gran transmisión, como siempre. Thank you very much, Kobe. Good luck with the Game Week 9, and obviously with all the questions and moderating the chat. Very much appreciated. Mickey says this may hinder my mini league as well. Vardy or Havertz captain? Vardy for me over the out of the two. Martinez has really changed Argentina's defense. Even Messi said he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Well, he is, and I would personally have him win the best goalkeeper of the year award, even over Donnarumma, who's not even starting for PSG now. I mean, keeping 15 clean sheets with Aston Villa in a season is crazy. And then he pretty much never concedes with Argentina. The combination of him, Christian Romero and Otamendi haven't conceded a goal when starting on the pitch. But then again, very fortunate against Peru. Martinez did concede the penalty, and then it actually got skied, I think, the penalty by Tapia, I think it was. So maybe they should have conceded. But yeah, Martinez is such a game changer. And even then, Romero and Otamendi, very good partnership. Acuna as the left back, even Tagliafico is improving now. And the right back, Molina, is very good offensively in terms of the attack against the weaker teams, and Montiel is very good defending against the likes of Neymar. He pocketed him in the final despite Neymar having a really good performance. Waiting for Pulisic, miraculous recovery to start up front. Imagine that could be a really good punt. Who is the most underrated FPL player? By that, do you mean like a manager, content creator, or someone like that? If it is, let me know and I can answer that. But if it's an actual asset, so let's say, for example, Heung-min Son, then I'll think about that as well. Havertz captain, good luck with that, Josh. Aventura or Bad Bunny? Neither, to be honest, but probably Aventura. I don't know, really. How can you speak Spanish so fluently? I mean, my parents are from there, so I speak it at home. That's why. I mean, I'm not a wizard or anything. No shot. This guy speaks Spanish. Oh no, yeah, yeah, I do, mate. I do. That's why I talk a lot about Argentina. You know, I've got that connection there. Good content, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Braden. Really appreciate it. Argentina have a history of good keepers. Yeah, in recent years, not so much, but Romero, quite underrated, but could be a bit insecure at times. But looking at Filiol and all these other keepers in the past, you have a good point there. Ever been to the Netherlands, Dylan? I haven't. I should go there one day, maybe to Amsterdam, and enjoy the good life there. Your prediction for El Clasico this weekend? I'll be honest, I'm not sure if Barcelona are at home or away. That could change the result, but I think Madrid will win, especially if they're at home. Smith Rowe and Mbeumo for me, especially long term. Danny Ings captain, not for me, but he'll probably score against Arsenal tonight, to be honest. And oh no, Arsenal play. Oh, that's going to ruin my day and my week probably. Thought Dylan was German with all the Timo jokes. Yeah, everyone says that. You know, they say you look German, you look Scandinavian, European, and obviously I can get that Spanish. But yeah, I'm neither of those things. I missed the question. I wanted to ask Smith Rowe or Livramento first sub. Says Perky. I actually answered it several times, and I said I would go with Livramento. Dylan, for Game Week 10, get out Sarr, Gray, Gallagher, or Saint-Maximin first. Probably Sarr. Probably him. Especially if you don't have Rafinha already, Chew. So that's what I'd probably do. Thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in. I don't think I'd be able to show you kind of my insight into Game Week 10 just yet. I don't think FPL will update. So let me actually just check, but I don't think that will be the case. Yeah, the game is updating. Yeah, thank you. All right, so there we go. That's the final team. I ended up captaining Salah. Pretty uneventful live stream in terms of, changes. I sometimes make very last minute changes, but nothing like that today. Argentina fans still don't feel good to talk other than FPL here. Says Basanta. Yeah, well, I mean, the deadline has passed, mate, and people are allowed to, get some other questions in there. Visit Asansol, bro, someday. Asansol? Have I said that right? Which club do you support? Arsenal. We're not all about the red light district, and no, we don't smoke the green for a living. I know that. It's just kind of a common misconception. My mates actually did go there. They did those things. Drop your Insta. My Insta is Dylan_RCM, and I will show it at the end of this video. Who do you support in EPL? I support Arsenal. Your plans in the coming weeks for FPL, obviously. Finding ways to get Heung-min Son. So potentially Diaz to Duffy, Saka to Son, and to facilitate that, probably Antonio making way to someone cheaper. I'd have to get probably 0.5 million. Or actually maybe 1 million. Downgrade Antonio to... I'm not sure, to be honest. I need to see. I've got an idea, but then again, I also want to leave it open to maybe a few adjustments to the plan. Dylan, are you staying in the stream till Arsenal's lineups are out? Maybe not. It depends, obviously. But yeah, let's see. I might do, but no guarantees there, to be fair. Depends on how many people are here, how many people are putting in questions and stuff. But obviously, in terms of the actual team and stuff, everything has been discussed here. Antonio and Mbeumo versus Havertz and Hwang. Antonio and Mbeumo for me. Yeah, Arsenal as well, George. Yeah. You support Arsenal and there's no Arsenal player in your starting 11. What a shame. Arteta wouldn't be proud. Yeah, but I'm not proud of Arteta, mate. So that's the thing, and we don't play great football. Why so keen on Son with his fixtures? The fixtures look tough on paper for the next two, but it doesn't matter, mate. I mean, and also I'm talking about getting Son by the time Game Week 12 comes around, when the fixtures are really good. And those fixtures that you talk about, I don't think they're that tough. I think Son and Spurs can score a few past all of them. United will beat Liverpool, I think, and Salah will blank. Hopefully not. Hopefully Liverpool smash him, and hopefully Salah gets a hat-trick. Looking forward to Saturday deadline next week. Yeah, true. And I'll probably still stream around this time next week, around 7 PM. Obviously, I'll let you guys know. And a reaction stream either tomorrow or on Sunday, if possible. I'll let you guys know. Imagine Salah getting negative points. Don't say that, mate. Don't say that. Suggestions for replacing Antonio? Ivan Toney, definitely, if you don't have him already. If not, an upgrade to Vardy or Kane for sure. And if you already have those players, or you can't get to them or whatever, then I would consider maybe Callum Wilson, Watkins, or maybe Broca if he can start showing a bit of consistency. Dylan, would you get Mbeumo or Toney first? Probably Toney for me. Ollie out or nah? If I was a United fan, definitely Ollie out. I've said Ollie's not the right man for the job 2 years ago, let alone now. But I would want him to stay because, one, Arsenal tend to beat them. I don't think it'll happen this year, by the way. I think United will do the double over Arsenal. But yeah, Arsenal tend to, get the better of Ollie. And also, it's just good for the rest of the league and the rivals. I hate United, if I'm being honest. What's your lowest FPL points? Minus 35. That's a pretty decent, score considering it's your lowest. Probably in the 20s or something, but is, considering hits as well. Who do you think will be the new Newcastle manager? I'm not too sure, but Eddie Howe's been linked and a few others. But yeah, let's wait and see. I feel like Antonio's going to bang with a full rest. Yeah, hopefully he does. Come on. Hopefully West Ham get a 3 or 4-0 win, but nah, I think it will be a high-scoring game for both teams. Salah yellow card and missed penalty. No, mate, no. Thanks for the stream, Dylan. Have a good one. Thank you, The Flying Dutchman. Good to see you on here. At least you have Ramsdale. Yeah, but I'm not too confident in him this week, to be honest. Bye, mate. Thank you for your input. I like your streams because there are not so many people in the chat and you manage to answer almost everything. I know you want most people, but this is better for us. Yeah, well, it sometimes is busier, but looking at it from a purely, getting as much done perspective, yeah, I agree. Obviously, when it's a bit more manageable and there's fewer people spamming, then obviously it is better. But yeah, sometimes there's 500 people in here, 200, 300, and it gets a bit hectic. And not to mention if you get thousands or whatever. Is Kelechi a good option in place of Antonio? He could be someone to think about, but I would rather have Vardy. Ramsdale 3 bonus points incoming. I hope so, mate. Oh, that would be amazing. Oh no, Truco says. Okay, yeah, Truco, you're just chatting absolute bollocks, mate. Argentina were better than Brazil in the final. What did Brazil do? Come on. And Argentina are better than Brazil. Honestly, I want Ollie to be successful. United legend and crazy player himself. Would be a fairy tale stuff if he wins a treble as manager and player. Yeah, but it's just not going to happen really, is it, on paper? Yeah. Based on what we've seen so far, he's not going to be the right man. Man U Liverpool 0-0 draw would be great score for City fan. Yeah, if I was a City fan, that's what I would want. If not, just for one of them to be battered. United aren't in the title race anyway, so maybe actually United winning would actually be beneficial. Lucien Favre would be a great choice. Yeah, that's another one who's been linked, Robin, and that's true. Some of the names were talked about yesterday in the live stream. Arsenal clean sheet, come on, hopefully, but Arsenal do struggle against Aston Villa, to be honest, so let's wait and see. But yeah, I'm not too optimistic there, to be honest. Thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in today. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Dylan, for the stream. Another great one. Got to go now. Good luck for Gameweek 9. Thank you, Sudindra, and to everyone else who has actually stayed here. And, just been here since 5:30. It's been a long stream. Not as long as yesterday, but, you can't be streaming all the time, to be fair. Let's just read out a few last comments before wrapping up. So, Eric Ten Hag would be great at Newcastle. Yeah, but he could actually already be at a bigger club from the get-go. But then again, Newcastle now is suddenly such an attractive option. And yeah, let's end the poll, by the way. It is getting in the way of the chat. So yeah, Salah did get the majority of the vote. Ramos will crash the game and and hit Salah's shoulder. I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. So yeah, there we go. That's the result. So 59% of you are captaining Salah. 24% are going with Havertz, 12% between Vardy, Son and Kane, and only 4% as a City asset. That's why I highlighted Foden and De Bruyne. I think they could be amazing this week as a captain. Although Man U aren't near the top, I don't want them to win. Yeah, exactly. I want Liverpool to beat them, even though Liverpool fans are unbearable. Not all of them, just to make it clear, just some of them. Salah will score another brace against Man U. That'd be great, mate. You won't hear me complaining. Ten Hag for Arsenal, please. Yes, I mean, when Unai Emery got sacked, I actually said Ten Hag would be my top 3 for the job. I would really like him to get the job. Unfortunately not. Hi, my starting 11 have 9 of yours. I lost Trent to get Havertz and Mbeumo. I don't think that's worth it personally, but it could pay off in the next 2 or 3. I think Havertz will outscore Trent this week, but let's see. I have Salah in my team, but I'll be the happiest person if Salah blanks. Fair enough, but I don't think... Well, he could actually. Best midfielder 5 million. There's not really anyone. Curtis Jones when he's fit. But yeah, there's not really anyone. Best FPL streamer for sure. Thank you very much, Ben. There's a lot of good streamers out there, so very much appreciated. Some rumours that Ramsdale and Saka didn't travel to Villa Park. Yeah, because Arsenal are playing at the Emirates, mate. That's a good one. So many people love to do these little trolls, but obviously it is quite creative. Where was the Wilson option? Wow, you captain Wilson. Whew, that's interesting. Do you think Arsenal should have gone for Vieira over Arteta? Well, honestly, none of them. if I'm being honest, because at the time at the time the vacancy was available, Vieira didn't really have a good track record, and he did get sacked by Nice, let's not forget. So not necessarily. I just think they should have gone for someone proven, someone like Erik ten Hag, for example. Oh yeah, I want to ask, why do you stream like a day early with deadline stream 2-3 weeks ago or something like that? It's basically what most people prefer, and also it's to differentiate myself from most streamers who stream an hour or so before the deadline. So more people come into the chat, there's more discussion, and it's just better for everyone. But of course, we can't appease everyone. The way to appease everyone is to stream every single day and cover different time zones, but unfortunately that's not possible. Arteta got to go. Trust the process was cringe from the get-go. Yeah, that's true, Robin. And yeah, just the Spurs game, it shows what Arteta could be capable of, but it just doesn't happen anywhere near enough. So yeah, I agree. Liverpool Man United combined 11. Alisson, Trent. It's not going to look good for United fans, by the way. Van Dijk. I'd actually argue Matip over Varane, but career history, it's definitely Varane. Left back Robertson. I like Shaw a lot, but I think Robertson's better. Fabinho. I think Bruno Fernandes gets in. Bruno Fernandes. It's a tough one. I go with Pogba, I guess, but maybe, a lot of Liverpool fans would prefer Henderson, and I don't blame them. And I think up front, Salah definitely walks in. And then I'd say Mane on the left and Ronaldo up front. That's what would be my combined 11. So Ronaldo, Bruno, Pogba, maybe Varane get in, the rest don't. Feel free to, offer your opinions there. Let's see. Differential safe bet captain. Well, I've gone for a safe captain, really, but it's not really a right or wrong answer there. I think certain weeks like this one, maybe a differential is the way to go. When you're coming live next, maybe tomorrow or on Sunday, I'll let you guys know. It'll be a reaction stream, reacting to Game Week 9 and looking ahead to Game Week 10. Although Man U are near the top, yeah, I agree, Kurt. I don't want them to win either. Did you do your score predictions yet? In the preview, I've changed the format a little bit, so I didn't put my score predictions there. So I've kind of changed it. So nowadays in my previews, I opt for my updated team selection. I talk about the main topics, and I talk about the latest injury news and stuff like that. I still talk about the best 5 captains and the best free hit team, but I have reshuffled it a little bit. Mane, Rashford or Sancho? Is this for your FPL team? I'd rather get Son, honestly. And as for the combined 11, I think Mane is better than Rashford and Sancho. Yeah, especially recently. Okay, yeah, Trujo, you're an absolute troll. Argentina not even top 10, mate. They're top 5. If anything, they're top 3. Come on, mate. And Chelsea to win the Prem. I hope not. And Chelsea haven't been too impressive. Surely Henderson gets over Pogba in a 4-3-3. Yeah, maybe, to be honest. That's why I'm saying it is debatable. A watch along would be nice as well, bro. Yeah, I mean, that is something to think about as well. But then again, there's also all the FPL and UCL fantasy content, the videos, and then the actual live streams, like the reaction stream. So that is technically coming, obviously. But yeah, Timo, get well soon with the recovery. Thank you very much, AJDC. Good to see you on here again. You should do a watch along sometime. Share your agony watching your Gunners with the world. No, you don't want to see that, mate, because I could break shit. Apologies if it wasn't PG, but yeah, honestly, that's not a good idea, I think. I think I'll definitely be demonetized. Do you play Fantasy 5? Last season I did a little bit, but not so much now. Yeah, do a watch along. Of course you're going to say that, AGDC. You've always wanted me to do all these kind of watch alongs to Rage and then build up your channel like that. Nah, mate, nah. I don't know about that. I don't think that's a good idea. What is your profession besides YouTube? YouTube isn't my profession, it's a hobby, to be honest, but I am an editor for a website, so yeah, that is my my job at the moment. Rudiger nailed? Yes. He's not going to play every single game, but yeah, I'd say so. Man City to double up, hopefully will come clutch, hopefully, especially in the defence. Please, City, keep a clean sheet against Brighton. But you never know. I think the Seagulls could notch a goal in there. Let's wait and see. Though the watch along would be jokes. It'd be jokes for you, but not for me, mate. And also, the people in my house and also the neighbourhood, there could be carnage. There could be carnage, trust me. So I don't know if that's the best idea for the rest. And you know what? The closest to a watch along maybe you'll get is if I stay for maybe another 10 minutes or so and we can react to the atrocity of the Arsenal lineup against Aston Villa. Maybe that's not a good idea in itself, to be honest. But yeah, that's my team on paper. Is it good? Maybe not. Let's see if I could actually get the... Hey. Yeah, if I can get... Oh, yeah, the game's still updating. Probably in 10 minutes I can start updating it, to be fair. Dylan, please consider doing a watch along. Yeah, I will consider it, but the thing is, when you do something like that, you'd want to do it consistently rather than just once and then that's it. But yeah, that could be something. The thing is, though, I do stream most of the games, so it could cut out, especially if I'm streaming, actual streaming at the same time. So that's something to think about. Sonny with a brace and Havertz with a double digit. Hopefully Havertz blanks, and hopefully Sonny blanks because West Ham smack him, to be honest. Do you take your glasses off and go into a telephone booth when Chelsea play, Dylan? Oh my god. No, mate, because I'm not Werner. Come on, a watch along would be fun, mate. What, are you basically talking me into a watch along today? Because come on, I already had plans today, unfortunately. But maybe in the future that could happen. Stay till the lineup. Yeah, just to react to Arteta's mind-boggling decisions, to kind of put it in a PG way. Hey Dylan, do you think we can beat Villa tonight? We can. Do I think we will? No. Just to be honest, I think Villa have gotten the better of us recently. They're not really an impressive team, to be honest, but yeah, I'm not really too confident. Damn, I'm against you and vice versa. Yeah. Lipok for a low-key troll. Yeah, I think he's not going to be a mod anymore, to be honest. What are your plans for future game weeks? To get Son around game week 12, and that would involve maybe Diaz to Duffy and maybe Antonio to a cheaper striker. Not so sure who that would be yet. Not really too confident on the budget strikers other than Tony, so I'd have to think about that. Another decision or an option would be to downgrade one of my other midfielders like Townsend to a budget midfielder, but I'm not too keen on that. I think it just makes my squad worse. But yeah, Son getting into the midfield for Saka, Antonio to, let's say, Hwang. That's just one example, but I probably won't do that. And then Diaz to Duffy, and then Saka will become, Son, as I said. And then, of course, Townsend could become Mbuma. You do look like Werner, but you probably have better finishing. Thank you very much. I literally don't, I mean, my mum, for example, she thinks I look like De Gea, but maybe you don't agree. And when I was in secondary school, people called me Marco Reus, but I just don't look like him, mate. Come on. Martinez, the Argentine Dylan, good to see you, and I get the resemblance with Timo. Oh, thank you. I definitely want you to do a watch along so we can all react. Yeah, and so we can have more people calling me Timo Werner. Why not, yeah? Laugh at my expense. And Arsenal losing. Oh, God. Yeah, the Argentine Dylan. Martinez, yeah. Dylan, do you play football in real life? Not right now, I just play casually, really. Back in the day, I did a bit, but, nothing, I'd say, too serious. I was in teams when I was in primary school, but in secondary school, I don't know, I didn't really play in too many competitive teams by that stage. The almighty Ars will win against Villa. What do you mean? Mate, it's Arsenal, and they're not almighty right now. Lloris a good pick after game week 12. Not for me. I'd just rather get Son and Kane, if anything, and don't trust Spurs defence right now. Why are so many managers interested in Ramsdale? It's because of the bonus and save points, to be honest. Who would you replace Arteta with? If possible, Ten Hag. But is he available? Probably not. And if possible, please, Conte. Great short-term solution. Thoughts about Kane and also bringing in Ronaldo after game week 14. Yeah, bringing in Ronaldo at that time makes sense, even against Arsenal in game week 14. And yeah, Kane is a good option, but I'd rather have Vardy and Son. I get Duffy and Dunk for the jinx, so good luck, boys. Yeah, you also got Sterling, didn't you, mate? So let's see if you actually reverse jinx him into some form. Is it dumb going for Son game week 12? I already have Kane doubling up. No, I don't think it's dumb, to be honest, but it's not ideal, at least for the time being. You don't got to do the Arsenal games, maybe big games like Man U versus Liverpool, fair enough, but then again, I do sometimes just watch them, I'm out and I'm not able to stream it unless I bring my Mac and I'm like, hey guys, but yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. Now that you have said it, I see De Gea 100%. It's when I have a beard. So right now, I shaved recently, but when I have more and it's a bit gingerish, I can see why, but I don't really, mate. I don't look like him. Come on. Marco Reus. Oh, why did I say that? Fuck it. I'm literally giving people ammunition. Fuck off. I have Mount in my team with all the injuries. I hope he gets first goal. And what do you think about Cucurella, FPL? I think he's a good option, but I'd rather have Duffy for the kind of extra value save there. For San Antonio, if he blanks, he would be on the chopping block, especially because I want to get Son in the midfield, to be fair. But not necessarily I'd be in a rush to get rid of him. I still think it's a good option. The generational Raheem in my team. So now he'll break his horrific streak. You with your little inline rhymes, mate. And he's not generational. Come on, mate. Martinez really turned up against Arsenal last season. He was lucky, though. I mean, look, I'm an Argentina fan, but he was lucky at Villa Park. He should have conceded a penalty against Lacazette. That was bullshit, to be honest. But then again, you know, the referees are just stupid. Like Mike Dean not sending off MacArthur against Saka. I mean, whatever. But anyway, yeah. Martinez is a good keeper, and don't know why Arsenal sold him. In your opinion, who would you want to see manage Newcastle? Whoever's worse, to be honest. I don't want Newcastle to prosper now with all these owners, and you know, I'm just saying, you know, you might call me bitter or whatever, but yeah, I don't want them to do well. To be honest, I want them still to maybe not suffer, but yeah, I don't want them to do well. Conte is gold, mate. Yeah, at least for the short term. Long term, not so much. Jorginho or Mbumo? Definitely Mbumo. I feel Conte is going to the Geordies. Yeah, the new oil riches. The league gets tougher. Yeah, and Arsenal go down, 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 and out of the top half. You'd replace Arteta with 10 hugs. Might as well get Klopp then. Oh, this guy is actually such a fucking troll, I swear. Okay, no, 10 hug. Yeah, not 10 fucking hugs. And yeah, like you say, I'd probably go to Klopp if I wanted that. More like Timo with glasses. Thank you very much, Robin. Dylan, your eyes look like Mounts. Yeah, someone said the other day, I think yesterday, hey, Dylan, you look like Mount today. I'm like, what? Do I look like the whole Chelsea lineup, for fuck's sake? But yeah, I don't know. I think Mount's pushing a little bit. I mean, the eyes look like it. What, does he have brown eyes? I don't know. You tell me, mate. You don't look like anything like Marco Reus. Werner, I see, but definitely not Reus. I look like neither of them, mate. That's the right answer. I look like myself, Dylan. Love my fucking arse off. Family friendly out of the window. Exactly, Ben. Trust me, let's not get too far away from the PG. We can all see the rage building. Just do the watch along. No, mate, no. And I already had plans, like I said, so it's not possible. Thanks for the pointers. No, you're not welcome, Curtis. You're not welcome. So salty. Gerard is the answer to that Gerard question. Oh, Gerard. I said Gerard like Moreno. Yeah, I think that would be a good option, I think, potentially. Or Lampard. Why not? Yeah, lol. I think there was a petition for Magdi not to referee Arsenal game. Yeah, it's never going to happen though, is it? But then again, Mike Pawson, who's actually been the ref, Craig Pawson, that's his name. He's the ref today. Remember the robbery against Wolves? I don't even want to talk about that. I was so mad. I was literally throwing stuff. If I did a watch along there, that stuff would be clipped up for the rest of my life. So yeah. You reckon Aubameyang and Lacazette will both start? No, but it could happen. But just I'm not too sure. And when Aubameyang plays on the left, he's just ineffective under Arteta. But yeah, I think Lacazette does help the overall team when he starts. Should I have gotten Vardy in for a hit? My attack is Jimenez and Tony. Not necessarily. You can just get him in next week. Now I can see Mount as well. Oh, Jesus. I don't know about that, to be honest. Lol, I know, right? Salty. Gerrard would be an interesting pick for sure. I mean, it's just... You can call me salty or whatever. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not just going to be like everyone like, oh, Newcastle deserve it or whatever. Like, okay, well done. Dylan Mount. F-bombs after F-bombs. Damn. What do you mean? I didn't swear. It's great to talk to Timo on a daily basis though, Dylan. Thank you very much, Vishal. Very much appreciated. Lukaku out for Vardy for a -4. Is that worth it? I think so, yeah. We are all clear of the PG rating right now. We are 18 plus. Yeah, I mean, we are approaching the 9 p.m. Curfew for kids, so that's true. What time is it there? It's 6:59 p.m. About to hit 7 p.m. British summertime. So yeah, that is the time. Chat, Truco, mate, you're not going to trigger me, because we got the Copa America trophy while Brazil crying, so I don't care. So you can say Argentina top 5, don't care, mate. Now I can see Johnny Sins as well. I heard that before as well. Oil can make things slippery. Slippy G makes sense. First signing will be Adama because he uses oil on his arms. Oh my god. Look at you. You proper thought about that, didn't you? That time between your two messages. What do I say? And then, yeah, just typing away, mate. Lineup out, right? Yes, let's get the lineup. Let's react to the lineup. Here we go, guys. Let me rename this stream to reacting to the Arsenal lineup. That's not a good idea, is it? No, it isn't. Let's see. So, let's go on Twitter. Okay, let's see. Come on, load up, mate. We don't have all day. Oh, no. Oh, okay, there's this page that gives Arsenal stats. Arsenal have never lost on Arsene Wenger's birthday in the Premier League. 4 wins, 1 draw, and of course 0 L's. Lacazette starts for Arsenal. This was actually given 5 minutes ago, so before the lineup was officially announced. So where's the lineup, mate? I want the lineup. I want the lineup. PG. Still waiting. I'm still waiting. What's the lineup? I don't know, mate. Hopefully Arsenal release it. Yeah, okay. Ramsdale starts. No surprise there. Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel, Tavares. So Tierney misses out. I think he is an injury concern. I think that's why he's not even on the bench. Lokonga Partey as the double midfield pivot. Saka, Smith Rowe, Aubameyang and Lacazette. So there you go. Double. Yeah, Aubameyang and Lacazette start together. And Saka is in there. So he is second on my bench. Watch him now actually get some points. But when I start him, 0 points, mum. So yeah. And as for the bench, Leno, Holding, Cedric, Maitland-Niles, Kolasinac, Elneny, Pepe, Odegaard, Martinelli. It's not the worst team in the world. But if Aubameyang's playing on the left, I'm just already kind of put off. Last season we played a bit of a similar team and we got absolutely smacked. Are you planning on getting rid of Antonio anytime soon? Yes, I am, especially to fund Son in midfield. I don't understand why Arsenal don't start Laka anymore. It's Arteta, mate. But yeah, Laka does deserve to start. Lineups are out. Dylan, just a random one. Usually you sleep at what time? After 12, if I'm being honest. Sometimes at 2 or 3 a.m. But yeah, recently I've been going to sleep earlier, 1 a.m. But yeah, I am here from Nepal, almost 12 p.m. Good night. Or was it 12 a.m.? But yeah, good to see you here, Basanta. What's the lineup? I just read it out, Alfie. Yeah, Ramsdale starts. Yeah, Saka starts. Hopefully he blanks, but Arsenal do well. I get rid of Saka and instead Tierney is dropped. Yeah. Bailey is back on the bench. Yeah, wouldn't be a surprise if he comes on and does well. I hate Aubameyang off the left. He should not be playing there. To be fair, when he won the Golden Boot, he did play the majority of the games coming from the left. But under Arteta, no go. And we just need a winger from the left who can dribble, who can create, a bit like a Grealish. We don't have that. What's the Villa lineup? Yeah, good point. I'll read it out. It's just going to make me nervous, isn't it? So Martinez is going to come back to the Emirates, the Copa America champion, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, but still a bit of a cunt, still always kind of like always crying about Arsenal. You know, he talks about his life achievements, but Arsenal, let me go. Shout, mate. All right, so Aston Villa. Hopefully live score have the right lineup. So Emiliano Martinez in goal, a back three of Mings, Twanzebe and Konsa, Target and Cash as the wing backs. Douglas Luiz and McGinn as the double midfielders. Buendia starts to kind of rub salt in the wounds because Arsenal did miss out on him. And Ollie Watkins and Ings up front. That's a good lineup, to be fair. Yeah, I think Villa are going to win this. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully Arsenal keep a clean sheet. Saka blanks and Aubameyang scores a hat-trick or something. But not too optimistic. Saka starts and drop the guy. This guy will now perform today. Yeah, I think so as well. That sounds like a 4-4-2. Yeah, hopefully, but Arteta rarely plays that. No Tierney, yep, he's not in the starting lineup. Emil on the left, Odegaard in the middle, and Saka on the right with Alba up top. Alba on the left just doesn't work anymore. Yeah, I agree. But then again, Lacazette does deserve to start, in my opinion. Maybe. Yeah, my Antonio Son move would be Saka to Son, and to do that, I'd need to do Diaz to Duffy. And Antonio to a striker cheaper than 6.8 million, I think. So that would be my move. I'm not too sure about those options right now. So that's why I haven't settled on the Antonio replacement yet. What's happening with Pepe? To be fair, he's being asked to play a role that just doesn't really suit him. He's being told to, track back and, help Tomiyasu defensively. And Arsenal in general sit back so much. And we're not really, positioned well on the counter-attack where Pepe thrives and then he can get into the spaces. But yeah, Pepe himself has been poor. His performance against Palace was awful. I live in Malaysia and it's 2 a.m. right now. The game starts at 3 a.m. Yeah, it's a bit awkward, isn't it, for you lot? But at least the game, the kind of early kickoffs tomorrow, that should be fine for you. Dude, Dune only from IMAX 3D. Pure and immersive visual masterpiece. Have you watched? I haven't. People in my family actually want to watch it a lot. I'm not really interested based on the trailer, but maybe it's a good film then, yeah. But I haven't heard too much about it. I watched No Time to Die the other day. It was a bit disappointing, to be fair. It wasn't a bad film. It's a good, well-made film, but I think there's a bit of inconsistencies. The villain's not really too good. But anyway, FPL, not movie reviews. Talking to myself there, by the way. Vishal, that much better. Dylan. Oh, I can't. PG, mate. Oh, thank you. Emi Martinez is Arsenal's biggest loss. Maybe in the last transfer window, yeah, but not in history. Not in my opinion. Good night, Dylan, and good luck with your team. Hopefully Ramsdale keeps a clean sheet. Yes, well agreed, mate. Good luck, mate. Watkins masterclass incoming. He is an Arsenal fan. He's got that extra incentive to do well against us. No Bailey, no party. Hopefully AGDC. But we are definitely losing tonight. I agree. I think we're losing or drawing. Do you think Ings is going under the radar? Slightly, I think. He could be a decent option. If I could do Antonio to Ings or Watkins, I might do that if it funds the Son move. So yeah, I think he's actually a decent one. Good, I keep Saka in my lineup. Yeah, but let's see if he actually does well. Saka is a bit inconsistent FPL wise. And now I've probably just reverse jinxed him into a return for you. So you're welcome. Shout out to all the Southeast Asian fans. Yeah, watching matches till 3-4 a.m. is no joke. Yeah. I can only relate when it's World Cup qualifiers for South America. Or when there's a Copa America. For example, in the United States in 2016, I had to stay up until 4 or 5 a.m. to watch matches. Other than that, though, I tend to watch matches at normal times. How likely are Arsenal going to win? I absolutely know the answer. It's not 0%, but it's also not, I'd say, 100%. I'd say it's a 30% chance of winning today. Haven't played my wildcard. I'm waiting for Game Week 11. Would you make a video on wildcard team? Potentially, especially if enough people request it. Yeah. Thoughts on DCL to Arsenal? Do you think it will happen? And would you want him? I don't think it will happen, and I probably wouldn't want him. No, he's also very injury prone. Who's your favourite artist? I like a bit of everything in terms of music. You probably won't know the music I listen to, but I like a bit of rap. I like Eminem back in the day. I like Biggie Smalls, for example, Tupac, and then obviously in terms of rock, I like Rolling Stones, Muse. In terms of electronic and stuff, I like Massive Attack. So I like a lot of different stuff, to be fair. So yeah, you might not like. I'm not gonna say I don't know, Travis Scott or Kendrick Lamar. I probably won't. I haven't listened to them enough. I actually was about to read the Dune book, but read the other one instead. Now regretting I didn't. Fair enough. Yeah, I never really heard about it before, if I'm being honest. What about Antonio? He has a blank in 4 game weeks. 4 game weeks? I think it's 2 game weeks in a row. And over the last 5 or 6, he's got like 4 or 5 blanks. Yeah, but he could make way anyway because I want to get Son in my midfield. Is transferring Havertz good enough with a hit? Yeah, I think it's a good move, to be fair. What are your opinions on Brocha? If he can continue to start, he might be my transfer in for Antonio, and that gives me the money to get Son in midfield. So yeah. And as for the question about Havertz, yeah, I think it is a good transfer, to be fair, even with a hit. But just bear in mind, long term, not really too impressive. Tierney left back in the changing rooms, says FP. Oh well, nice pun there. What's your opinion on AFTV? I have watched them a lot, and I like the idea about it. It has changed online and digital media a lot, and maybe for the better. I like the fact that anyone has a platform, but what I don't like is when people use a platform like that just to spread toxicity and hate, especially towards legendary figures like Arsene Wenger. And by the way, big up the big man today. It is his birthday. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. I think I like it. I like some of the stuff they do, but I don't like certain, maybe individuals, you could say, just the people who really want to spread hate and fear. Well, not fear. We're not scarecrow, are we? Toxicity and stuff like that. Eminem is the GOAT and rock is the GOAT of music genres. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I liked Eminem a lot back in the day. I don't know about his stuff recently, but I liked a lot of his songs back then. I wouldn't say he's one of my favourite or like my outright favourite. He's not my top 5, but in terms of rap, he probably is. You a Blink 182 fan? No, I'm not. I haven't heard it, to be fair. I'll be honest. AFTV is gold. It can be when there's a rage, yeah, but at the same time, kind of goes against what I probably like. Tierney's not in the full squad yet. He's not. Brocha is good, potentially, if he can continue to start. You probably won't know the bands I like. Eminem, Muse, Rolling Stones, Tupac. Yeah, I know. Okay, I get what you mean. It sounds very ridiculous because they're all quite popular. And it's just a weird mix, I'm mentioning rappers and some bands. I like Queen as well, for example. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I know. When I say it like that, it's really stupid, isn't it? But yeah, I like a lot of old school stuff. But I do like some stuff nowadays. I know you want Son, but what about Kane as a good captaincy option? And then you can swiftly... well, I already had the chance to do Vardy to Lukaku to Kane, and I didn't do it, so not for me. I'd rather have Son. Thierry Henry to come managing Arsenal and give Vieira a proper spanking? Nah, I don't think Henry as a manager would do it. Saka starts, not nice. No, hopefully he does well and doesn't get points and Arsenal win. Switch him to Ron. Yeah, fair enough, but not for me. Update your team. All right. hold your horses. Hold your horses. All right, here we go. Here you can have a little preview of Game Week 10. And ooh, some nice fixtures there. Nice fixtures. Ooh, yeah, Salah captain. What a surprise. No, Rafinha. Yeah, I think I'd keep the same captain and vice captain. Oh my god, this team's looking nice, isn't it? Huh. And then it gets not 2 points, it gets like 40 points or something. That looks amazing. Alright. Yeah, I'll probably keep it like that. Alright, there we go. That's it. No need for a video. Good night, guys. No, but yeah, there you go. If you want to see my team, there you go. Opinion on Saint Maximin? I think he's a decent option, but I probably wouldn't go for him. Yeah, I probably wouldn't. I'd rather have Edouard potentially. He might come into my team, and definitely Tony. Yeah, Saka starts. Points in UCL Fantasy last game week, I got 98, and I'm now 883rd in the world, I think. I think the ridicule of Arsenal fans has significantly increased due to FTV. I completely agree. And it's just part and parcel. Obviously, some parties benefit, like AFTV, and others don't, such as Arsenal's reputation. Then it would be good to have a matchday preview with another mate of yours debating it out. Yeah, that could be something to go on. But, you know, a lot of my mates don't, I'd say, have extensive FPL knowledge, for example. So, I don't know. If someone was on it, then yeah, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, it could be something to do. I actually made a video once talking about football. I think it's the best Premier League 11. I did delete the video, but yeah, I had a few friends on that. It was like a little podcast. Biggie or Tupac? Probably Biggie, actually, but I do like Tupac as well. To be fair, I have heard more of Biggie than Tupac, so that's why I've gone for him, but both of them really good. Do you listen to Ligma? No, I don't. How long are you streaming for? I'll be cutting off very soon, to be fair. I'm going to eat very soon as well. How long? Oh, yeah. Sacking the lineup, how do you feel about benching him? I'm still not really too concerned. I thought he'd start today. But yeah, hopefully he does blank. FPL Frenzy says subscribe on the way to 7k. Thank you very much. Appreciate the shout out. And yeah, hopefully we can get to that soon. I don't know how many subscribers we got today, but yesterday I think we got like 100 subscribers over the 2.5 hour deadline stream. So yeah, hopefully we've got up to 6.8, I think it is. But if not, you know, still good. We're making progress regardless. Yeah, we're on 6.7. Yeah, we're on 6.8k now. We just hit it. Thank you very much. We're very close to 7,000. Should I get Son for Game Week 10 or 11? I don't know. You just get him in regardless. It depends on who you get out and, you know, how it plays. But yeah, as soon as possible is not a bad thing. I think he can do well in those games. Hopefully Saka gets a mega hat-trick. It's not going to happen, mate. It goes up price in 4 times, so we sell him and make profit. Yeah, no, but Saka hat-trick, if that happens, I'd actually be a bit pissed off, probably, because I'm putting second on my bench. If he scores a hat-trick, you know, probably his only hat-trick in his career, nah, that would be... Oh my god. But obviously I'd be happy from an Arsenal perspective. That's the main thing. I'll see you next stream. I've got to prepare myself mentally for pain while watching Arsenal. I need to do the same thing, to be honest. Stupid decision in FPL. Selling Salah for a hit or something, that I'd say. For next game week, start Foster over Ramsdale. That could be a shout, mate. That could be a shout. Yeah, I'd actually consider it. But then again, Watford don't really fill me with confidence, but I actually might do that. Start Foster or Sanchez in game week 10. Wait, who do... Let me... Oh, yeah, but doesn't... Yeah, Liverpool play Brighton. Yeah, I would start Foster. And obviously we will talk about this in the coming days and weeks. Are you an Arsenal fan? Yes, I am, mate. Sorry, I haven't watched it from the beginning. Did you take a hit or not? Nope, just one transfer. Lukaku to Vardy. I had Tierney. I'm going to cry right now. Yeah, that's the thing with him. He's injury prone as well. That's why I never really was into Tierney. Good player, though. If you had the chance for Game Week 12 of Son or Kane, who would you pick? Probably Son, especially if it facilitates Jamie Vardy. But if, you know, that's not really into the equation, Kane could be the better one because he's lower ownership and he could be a really good captaincy option, especially with penalties. But yeah, at the moment I prefer Son. It's good to see you doing well, man. Thank you very much, Vishal. Even when I had... I mean, I don't have that many viewers, but even when I had fewer viewers, you know, struggling to even get 100 views or whatever, you know, so I still was pretty happy with the progress being made. Jimenez in my 11 and Saka on the bench. If Saka performs and Jimenez gets me 1 point, I'll be pissed as well. Yeah, I'd be too, to be honest. And to be fair, Jimenez is a better pick than Saka, especially this week. So it's not really a bad decision. It's just that news. And then again, it could actually be wrong. How much have you got in the bank? Good question, mate. I think I got 0.5 5. No, I would have sold you a lie there. I got 1.5 in the bank, obviously, yeah, because I did Lukaku to Vardy. So I had 0.4 or something like that. I now have 1.5 in the bank. So thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in. Obviously, really appreciate all the support and all of the feedback, the comments. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. It really helps out the channel. And I'm going to go eat now. I'm going to enjoy myself before Arsenal ruin my weekend and my day, or night, should I say. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you want. Dylan_RCM is the same as my YouTube handle. Really appreciate all the support, as I always say. And thank you to everyone with the super chats as well. Obviously, you didn't have to, but very much appreciated. Good luck with Game Week 9. Good luck with the rest of the season. And also with UCL Fantasy. And I'll see you next time.